slowly towards us here, towards the side of the pitch, and is going to have a word with the fourth official, who's Gavin Ward tonight. The two teams break out from their pre-match huddles, and I've probably just got time to get you through the two-team lineups. Ipswich Town have Muric in goal. Harry Clark at right back comes in for Twan Zebi, only a second Premier League start of the season for him. The first one wasn't great at Brentford in the 4-3 defeat, gave away a penalty and ended up getting sent off. Leif Davis at left back. Jacob Greaves is fit again to play centre back alongside Dara O'Shea, so Cameron Burgess drops out. Sam Morsey the captain alongside the Swede Jens Kajusta. Wes Burns and Jack Clark coming on the flanks tonight for Ipswich. Omari Hutchinson, who scored the great goal against Manchester United just over a week ago at this stadium, he'll play in that number 10 role behind the bustling, busy, boisterous centre-forward Liam Delap, who's been a fantastic signing for Ipswich Town from Manchester City so far this season. Ipswich Town played from left to right in the first half. Hutchinson gets on the ball, tries an early little trick. Gahey in with the challenge, and the ball goes out for an Ipswich Town throw. Crystal Palace have Dean Henderson in goal. Their three centre-backs, Trevor Chalabar, Maxence Lacroix and Mark Gahey, the captain. Daniel Nunoff and Tyrick Mitchell, the two wing-backs. Will Hughes and Chet Doucouré in central midfield. And then Ismail Assar and Eberechi Eze in support of Jean-Philippe Mateta, with Eddie Nketiah, who we were discussing before the game, on the bench. And Nketiah has gone 25 Premier League games without a goal. Does have a goal for Crystal Palace, but it came in the League Cup. He's desperate for one, but he's not starting this game tonight. Muric is a giant figure, the Ipswich goalkeeper, away to our right, and he's in a sort of very light grey goalkeeping outfit. He's played a short ball out to Dara O'Shea. You can see the breath appearing in front of all the players' faces on this chilly night. That's a great ball down the left-hand side. Chased well there by Leif Davis at full gas, but he was going so fast, Mark Schwarzer, he couldn't control it. He sort of ran into the ball, it came off his knee and went behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think he slightly misjudged the bounce of the ball as it skidded through on the very, very sort of damp surface here. And I think at that point there was a great position in behind. He had an advantage, could have possibly laid it square across to Delap in the centre of the 18-yard box, but unfortunately the touch just let him down.
This football ground's certainly not changed in character down the years. It's got bigger, it's modernised, but the four two-tiered stands close to the pitch. Hutchinson going in to try and win the ball off Gahey, nearly got it off him close to the Palace goal. Henderson clears. Playing surface always immaculate at Ipswich. Crystal Palace going to enjoy that. Sarr trying to slide one through to Mateta. O'Shea intercepts, plays the ball back to Davis. Here's Kajusta on the turn in the midfield for Ipswich. Thought he was going to win a foul there and didn't. Doucouré plays it forward for Palace. Will Hughes with a little 1-2, back to Doucouré. That's a nice low pass to Mitchell. Cross towards the far post is overhit and goes out for a throw into Ipswich in the left-back position. But it's... did you play at this stadium, Mark?
I did, yes, yeah. I did. I played with Middlesbrough here. Actually, I think the last time I maybe played it, I think we may have lost.
Really?
Yeah, maybe.
So you blotted it out.
Yeah, that's exactly right, yeah. Think about those ones.
It's Mark Schwarzer with us here at Portman Road, and Leicester West Ham kicks off at 8:15 in the Premier League tonight. Commentary of that one over on Sports Extra. We'll bring you updates of it during this game here. 5 Live Sports Extra and the BBC Sports website and app has commentary of all 10 Premier League games for you Tuesday, tonight, tomorrow and Thursday. Muric has the ball at his feet for Ipswich, so Ipswich start the night in the bottom 3 on 9 points, goal difference of -11. Palace also on 9 points, just above that bottom 3. They've won the ball back inside their own half. Will Hughes, with the bright peroxide blonde hair, plays back to the captain Gahey, across to Maxence Lacroix. Here's Chalabar on loan from Chelsea. Lovely curling pass from him. Chested down by Mateta. The giant Frenchman lays the ball back into the path here of the on-rushing Munioff, who's blocked by Leif Davis. The last touch came off the Palace man, and that is going to be a goal kick for Ipswich. 4 minutes in, 0-0.
Yeah, it was good defending by Leif Davis there. He didn't dive in. What he did was he just waited for the touch for Munez to take it forward, and then just put his body in between and shimmied the ball out and made sure he didn't give away a penalty so early on.
Keep you updated as well on everything that goes on in League One and League Two tonight. I can see as well in La Liga this evening. I won't do all of those scores in every competition across Europe tonight, but Barcelona 3-1 up away to Mallorca, and Rafinha, the former Leeds man, has got another couple of goals again. Wes Burns scoops the ball forward down the right. Gahey scampers across to intercept for Palace. Plays down the line to Mitchell. Back to Gahey. Ipswich stand off for now. Liam Delap comes trotting towards Lacroix. Ball is played across to the right-hand side of defence. Will Hughes is involved. Palace just knocking it around inside their own half, and Chalobah puts some pace on it. Back to his goalkeeper, Dean Henderson, all in green. Out to Gahey. Now Ipswich put the press on. Palace beat that and find Mitchell. Mitchell's low ball up to Eza. Eza running back towards his own goal. Is followed by Harry Clark, but gets away from Clark and plays back into the heart of defence to Lacroix.
Yeah, it's good play from Crystal Palace. Kept the ball very well. They're under a lot of pressure from Ipswich, and they just got the passing on spot on at that time. Didn't try to overcomplicate things. A little while ago, they played their first short goal kick, and Mark Gay almost got caught.
Yeah.
Hutchinson closed him down. It was very, very tight. And sometimes you just think, why are you playing out? Knock it long.
Eza's chasing a ball into the Ipswich half. Harry Clark saw the danger, had it covered. Plays back to Murich. He plays straight up the middle of the pitch. Morsey across to Clark. Sometimes that will give football fans kittens as their team knocks it around at the back, and you think the passes may go astray. You could feel that inside the stands here at Portman Road. But Greaves clears up to the halfway line. Delap jumps to win the header, and it falls at the feet of Jack Clark, and Jack Clark suddenly has space to work with for Ipswich. Goes wide to Wes Burns on the right. Couple of touches, low cross, blocked by Mitchell, and the ball goes behind for an Ipswich Town corner.
Yeah, really good play from Liam Delap first and foremost. Putting a lot of pressure on the Palace defence there, getting involved with a long ball up, gets either something on it or certainly prevents Palace from clearing, and Jack Clark was very sharp.
Been really impressed, Mark. I mean, you've watched a bit of Ipswich this season. Liam Delap, as a 21-year-old, full of confidence, really puts himself about, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and I think for a lot of people, he's been surprised at how well he's adapted and how quickly he's adapted to the Premier League. They look good going forward, Ipswich.
This man, Leif Davis, can deliver a good set piece. Curls the corner into the near post, glancing header across the face of goal over the crossbar. Came from a Palace defender. It's going to go behind for an Ipswich corner on the other side.
Yeah, you can see there, I think it was O'Shea there, got that flick on at the near post. He just doesn't get it right. I think it sort of either just goes over him or just hits the skims the top of his head, and it comes off a Palace player. And you could see, he knew how close that was.
It was Mark Gahey who was right behind him, but had O'Shea, as Mark says, got the contact he wanted, that may have ended up in the back of the net. Another corner comes in from the left. Good header away by Mateta. Shoot, say the Ipswich fans, to captain Sam Morsey. He's 45 yards from goal. He's not going for that. Ball into the box. Kayusta jumps, tries to control it in mid-air. Doucouré heads it away for Palace. Eza's tackled by Harry Clark, and the ball's with Jack Clark. Lovely trick onto the right foot, edge of the penalty area. Rolls it back to Hutchinson, onto his left foot. Little dink pass into the penalty area. Comes straight through to Dean Henderson. 7 minutes played. Ipswich 0, Palace 0. Henderson slings the ball out a mighty distance to find Munoz, who'd burst forward down the left. Mateta is there. He's going to look for the back heel to Munoz. Morsey's in there for Ipswich. Just stabs the ball back to Clark. Back to the goalkeeper, Murich. That was danger. Sarr was closing in. Not the best clearance. Headed forward by Eza. Harry Clark wins another header for Ipswich. And they managed to get the ball away to Wes Burns in his orange boots on the right. He turns, hits the ball into Mitchell. Mitchell runs forward with it. Burns tackles him. Then Will Hughes gets onto the ball for Palace. Goes to his left to Eza. Eza's curling right-footed ball looking for Mateta. Got a glancing header. It goes through the Ipswich penalty area. Collected by Munoz and played back here to Chalobah, who's well forward in the Crystal Palace attack. Lacroix across to Gahey. Gahey wide to Mitchell on the left, and Ipswich come out in their numbers and try and put some pressure on the ball. Gahey hits the high diagonal to the right. Munoz heads it down. Greaves gets a foot in, only as far as Munoz. Cross comes in. Eza jumps with Harry Clark again. Second header for Ipswich from Leif Davis. But the pressure continues here for Crystal Palace. Chalobah, sliding challenge on him by Jack Clark. Chalobah's gone down hurt. No free kick, but Ipswich are on the break, and Liam Delap is muscling his way through the Palace defence and tries to find a ball through to Hutchinson. That's intercepted, but only as far as Delap again. Delap turns and plays back towards the halfway line. Mark Schwarzer.
Yeah, great rail run again from Delap there. He just never gave up, and he just couldn't quite get that final pass right into the path of Hutchinson. Slightly underhit it, and in the end, Palace were able to clear.
in the Euro 2025 playoffs tonight. Republic of Ireland, Wales is a big game. Kicked off at 7:30. Delith Lloyd.
Yeah, huge game, Ali. 9 minutes gone still. Republic of Ireland 0, Wales 0. There's a bit of a fast pace to it though. Ireland came out and had 2 corners in the opening 3 minutes. Hannah Kane had almost a half chance for Wales as well a couple of moments ago, but it wasn't played through properly. But you get a feeling this is going to be a very fast-paced match. Still 0-0.
So Northern Ireland won't be there next summer. They were beaten 3-0 by Norway tonight, lost 7-0 on aggregate over the 2 legs, and a tough one for Scotland tonight as well, lost 2-0 away to Finland. They won't be at the Euros next summer. England playing Switzerland in a friendly tonight. Step over from Jack Clark, then just ran into Gahey and fell over. The referee, Craig Pawson, is not buying that, and Gahey just sort of towered over Jack Clark and said, well, come on, son, you're going to have to get up. We're 10 minutes play, we're 0-0.
Yeah, he was in a really good position, Jack Clark. I mean, his darting run forward was very, very good. He just waited too long to play that pass through. There were numbers, there were players making run-ins behind. Hutchinson was one of them. He just was undecided on who he was going to play, and in the end, Mark Gahey just steps up and it was just like a rock in front of him.
Yeah. Jack Clark's got a bit of Jack Grealish about him. He wears number 47 for Ipswich. He was signed from Sunderland in the summer for 15 million. Scored 15 goals for Sunderland last season, yet to get off the mark for Ipswich, but he's got that long hair on the top, short on the sides, tied back by the band, plays wide left for Ipswich. Sam Morsey, their captain, is on the ball in their blue shirts with the white pinstripe. Morsey plays back to O'Shea, then Kayusta gets a touch, back to O'Shea again. O'Shea lays it off to Morsey, short passing inside the Ipswich half, out to the right to Hutchinson, who's such a key man for Ipswich this season. In his second season at the club, he was on loan from Chelsea last season, and they made the move permanent in the summer, but he's the one who really makes it tick if he can find those spaces in between midfield and defence. Muric delays for Ipswich, plays out from the edge of his own area, and the ball runs to Davis, the left back to the big figure of Jacob Greaves, back in the team tonight for Ipswich, across to Muric to O'Shea. Patient build up from Ipswich inside their own half. O'Shea sees Harry Clark on the right. He goes for a longer ball with the outside of his right boot. Fabulous pass finds Wes Burns. Touch from Burns, and then unfortunately for him, he slips, lost his footing as he was getting in position to decide whether to shoot or cross from the edge of the Palace penalty area. Ezza's lost it inside his own half. Morsey was there to win it for Ipswich, and they have it again. Yeah,
first and foremost, the ball over the top from Jack Clark was excellent. Outside of his foot, right in the path of Wes Burns, and Wes Burns, unfortunately for Ipswich, just loses his footing like you mentioned, and it was sort of a bit of a shock to see him actually fall over like he did, and just gives ball back to Crystal Palace, and Eze gets the ball. That was definitely a foul, wasn't it?
Do you think so?
I think it was.
Yeah, well, Eze certainly thought so. Referee didn't agree. Harry Clark at right back for Ipswich, short shaven hair, plays back to his goalkeeper Muric. Mateta just waits on the edge of the Ipswich penalty area. And our producer Rob Noffman here, Mark, is trying to find the source of a mystery drip from the roof above us. His right sleeve is getting absolutely soaked here.
I'm okay, are you?
Yeah, I'm absolutely fine.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Well, absolutely, we're okay. And I don't think either of us are offering to swap with Rob. Maybe for the second half. 12 minutes gone in the first half. Ipswich 0, Crystal Palace 0. Jack Clark tries to whip a first-time ball around the corner for Wes Burns to get onto. Gahey is there. Plays back to the goalkeeper Henderson. He's outside his penalty area. Pushes a pass forward to Hughes. Hughes in the traditional old black boots, socks rolled down. Back to Gahey. Eze lays it off to Doucouré. Only a third Premier League start of the season for him. Jefferson Lerma on the bench this evening. Adam Wharton still missing with injury, which is a blow for Palace. And Daichi Kamada, the Japanese international, serving the last game of a suspension. Eze's curling ball, intercepted by Davis. Stooping header, only as far as Munioff. Palace start to build again, and they want to get the ball to this man, Eze, the number 10, as much as possible. Munioff wide on the right. Back to Hughes. Hughes to Doucouré. Ipswich back in their defensive shape. Palace playing in front of them. Gahey was the man who crossed the ball late on Saturday for the Munioff equaliser from wide on the left. Ipswich have broken play up. Morsey finds Clark in his baggy white shorts. Outside of the right foot, Leif Davis comes screaming past him on the left-hand side, controls the ball and plays back to Clark. And Clark goes back into his own half to Dara O'Shea, but O'Shea moves forward with a bit of purpose for Ipswich, rolls the pass low to Burns to Hutchinson, let it run across his body. Gahey is not falling for that, makes the tackle. Harry Clark in on Eza keeps the ball, brilliant footwork from the Palace man, one touch with the right, then the left, got him out of trouble. Delap then challenges Lacroix. Lacroix's gone down, writhing around on the floor in agony. Crystal Palace feel that was a high foot, and Craig Paulson saw it, and he steps in to deal with it, and Liam Delap just goes over and says, I'm terribly sorry, referee, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, you can see, I mean, I'm not really sure, we have to watch it again on the replay, whether or not there is any contact at all. It's, again, very difficult to see, but the rolling around of Lacroix, he has got a bit of a stretched foot, but he's going for the ball. I don't think there might be the slightest of contacts. It certainly isn't as bad as made out, or certainly doesn't look it.
Well, he seems in some trouble here, Lacroix, at the moment, because he's barely lifted his head off the Portman Road turf. He's holding his left leg. It was one of those, Mike, you see it all the time, don't you? Centre forward closing it down. Lacroix just gets there first, completes his clearance, and as he kicks that ball, Delap's foot is sort of coming in on the ball, and maybe he's kicked the bottom of Delap's
maybe.
foot.
I mean, it looks like he's rubbing his shin, so maybe there was more contact there. And I tell you what, in that area there anyway, you only need the slightest of contact for it to really hurt.
Particularly on a cold night like tonight. Lacroix is now sitting up. Ipswich fans jeering and whistling, as you can hear. But he's going to be okay. Crystal Palace are going to get their free kick. 15 minutes played at Portman Road. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And the first goal has gone in League 2 tonight. That is a very early one. Scott Hogan has scored in the first minute for MK Dons against Chesterfield. We've got reporters at Exeter Wickham, Wrexham Barnsley in League 1 tonight, Cheltenham Port Vale and Walsall Notts County in League 2. And Betty Glover is watching England's women against Switzerland at Bramall Lane this evening as well. So we'll keep you updated with that one. This is Ipswich 0, Crystal Palace 0 in the Premier League. Leicester West Ham kicks off at 8:15. Full commentary of that starts on Sports Extra. It will then move over to 5 Live after this game has finished. 5 Live tomorrow night has full commentary of Arsenal Manchester United, which kicks off at 8:15. Newcastle Liverpool is on Sports Extra. That kicks off at 7:30. But the other 4 games, you can get full commentary on those too. Ipswich fans getting frustrated because Eza's gone down this time. Wes Burns apparently has fouled him. Crystal Palace get themselves another free kick. Goal, Exeter Wickham, John Akers.
The leaders are behind. Exeter 1, Wickham 0 in the 2nd minute of the game. Really nice feat from Melinik Ali in the penalty area, and he's just scooped it, a little chip into the far corner, and Exeter mid-table haven't scored in 3, lead 1-0.
Another Palace player goes tumbling. Referee again gives a free kick to Crystal Palace. Wide on the right-hand side. It was Ismail Assar that time who was caught. I don't think there was any debate about that one. I think the Ipswich fans know it as well. Will Hughes on the ball, passes across to Gahey on the halfway line. Hutchinson was interested there, nearly took it off him. Gahey does well, back onto his right foot, wide to Munioff, chests the ball down, awkward one to control. Greaves steps in, clears it away, hoists it high into the night sky. Doucouré under pressure on the halfway line, and Morsey's caught him, and that's another free kick. And that's 4 or 5 in very quick succession, Mark Schwarzer.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Morsey twice in quick succession as well, so he has to be a little bit careful. The first one on Eze was definitely a foul as well. You can see it on the replay.
Ball down the inside left channel for Tyrick Mitchell to chase for Palace. Just a bit too much on it, and Muric comes out to the edge of his penalty area and collects it for Ipswich. Grimsby 1, Accrington 0 in League 2, and as John was saying, just seeing confirmation of that goal on the video printer. Wickham Wanderers, the League 1 leaders, behind at Exeter, the goal in the 2nd minute of the game. Muric on the ball for Ipswich. Again, Mateta just stands off, edge of the box, lets him play out to O'Shea. O'Shea to his right to Harry Clark. Hutchinson drops deep, wide on the right for Ipswich, plays back to Clark again. Clark doesn't see an option there, suddenly looks trapped down by the corner flag in the right back position, hits a clearance into Eza's foot, and it goes behind for an Ipswich Town goal kick.
Yeah, both sides wanting to play out at the back, and they're both, to be fair, sitting off. Actually, Palace are sitting off more. They're waiting until there's a pass out wide. The minute the ball goes out wide, they all look to close in and try and box them in, whereas Ipswich, the minute Crystal Palace are trying to play a short goal kick, they're on their bike right from the off. They're really trying to put a lot of pressure on Palace. So far, both sides have dealt with it pretty well.
Ipswich 0, Crystal Palace 0. Greaves ball forward inside the Ipswich half. Delap drops deep to collect it. Whips a pass out to his right. Didn't find Burns. Mitchell onto it for Palace. Fires it infield to Eza. Morsey's got a good handful of Eza's shirt there. Eza holds him off, plays back to Gahey. Sam Morsey's one who's got to be a bit careful tonight. Another yellow card for Ipswich. He'll be suspended for the next game. It'll take him up to 5. Their next game, Ipswich, at the weekend is at home against Bournemouth. Here's Cayusta, who's on loan from Napoli in the Ipswich midfield. Applause from the Ipswich fans as they keep the ball. Dara O'Shea stops for a second, assesses his options, goes left to Greaves. Now to Leif Davis. Nice ball from him, finds Jack Clark, who tried to get it through the legs of Doucouré to find the run of Davis. This time Clark is tricked for Ipswich Town. Ironic cheers resound around Portman Road as Ipswich get the decision. Here's O'Shea. O'Shea across to Harry Clark. Harry Clark at right back, Jack Clark at left wing for Ipswich. Wes Burns on the right. Down to the byline. Gahey blocks the cross and that goes out for an Ipswich Town throw. Mark Schwarzer.
Yeah, it's good defending from Mark Gahey there, coming across. Mitchell had pushed up, and you can see as the ball was played over the top, Wes Burns gets control of the ball. Mark Gahey just stands his ground. Really, really good defending as Burns tries to get that delivery in the box. It's just a really good solid block.
Right, I think we've got a long throw coming here. Jens Cayusta has been given the ball and he's immediately taken the black gloves off that have been sort of shielding his hands from the cold. He wants a proper grip on this yellow ball and he slings it in towards the near post. Header is flicked on. Will Hughes heads it away. It bounces just outside the Palace area. Almost not enough on the pass back to Morsey. He can just smash it high in the air and Henderson comes out, leaps in the air and catches it cleanly. Runs to the edge of his box, then hits the old sidewinder with the right foot. Munoz does well to nod that down the line to Sarr, who looked like he was getting away from Dara O'Shea. It's going to be a Crystal Palace free kick and it's going to be a first yellow card of the evening to the Ipswich centre-back, Dara O'Shea.
Yeah, the minute Sarr gets off the shoulder, he rolls him, doesn't he? And he's definitely going to get a foul there. He gets the foul away, it's definitely a yellow card. The referee has to show that when he does it, and there's no complaints from Ipswich.
So free kick for Crystal Palace. Ipswich 0, Palace 0. If there is a winner tonight, that team will be on 12 points. If Leicester don't beat West Ham this evening, that team will be up to 15th in the table. Above Leicester, above Everton. Massive game for Everton tomorrow night, of course. Everton against Wolves, one of those you can hear on the BBC Sport website and app. It's a free kick for Crystal Palace. Eza is over there, breathing hard. You can see the condensation appearing in front of his mouth as his chest goes in and out here as he steps towards the ball. Good pace on that, zipped in. Muric came, stopped, and O'Shea's there. Really important header for Ipswich to nod it behind for a corner.
Yeah, in the end it was very good defending. It was a dangerous ball into that 6-yard box, but Muric just comes sprinting off his line, and that can all in itself cause a lot of confusion. But in the end, the defending was really good from Dara O'Shea.
Corner for Crystal Palace. Ipswich 0, Palace 0. Eza gets ready to take in front of those Ipswich fans, jam-packed into the Sir Bobby Robson stand behind that goal away to our left. Here is Eza, curling ball in, drops dangerously on the edge of the 6-yard box. Ipswich headed away for now, but the ball is still inside that Ipswich area. Doucouré's low cross intercepted. Jack Clark runs away with it. He's caught, fouled. That'll be a yellow card for Doucouré. Free kick for Ipswich and a goal at Bramall Lane. This is England's women playing Switzerland tonight. Betty Glover.
And England are up and running. It's England 1, Switzerland 0. It was an England free kick, really well taken. The ball goes into the area. Initially, it hits the post, but Manchester United's Grace Clinton is there to tap it into the back of the net. It's England 1, Switzerland 0.
Thank you, Betty. So yellow card apiece now. Doucouré on a yellow card for Crystal Palace. O'Shea for Ipswich. And Ipswich waiting to take the free kick. Shoelaces need to be done. Jack Clark has done those. He goes trotting forward and Leif Davis is making ground up the left-hand side as well. Ipswich take their free kick, play around inside their own half and come back to goalkeeper Muric. Muric happy to take his time. Just knocking the ball forward inside his penalty area. Just waiting to see if any of these Crystal Palace forwards are going to put him under pressure. They're not. Still has it. Now he just goes short right to O'Shea. Wide to Harry Clark. Clark plays back to O'Shea. Now Palace interested in the press. O'Shea clears with his right foot up towards Burns. Chests it down, and Palace might have won this. Burns battling with Mitchell. Mitchell tackles him. Burns knocks it out for a throw. We'll check in on the Republic of Ireland against Wales in the Euro 2025 playoff second leg. Delith Lloyd.
Still 0-0 after 24 minutes, Ali. The tempo of this game, though, is absolutely frightening. It's pelting it down with rain as well in Dublin. Denise O'Sullivan rattled the bar a moment ago from 25 yards out. Katie McCabe, the Ireland captain, has been booked as well. There's a bit of a tussle going on with her and Wales's Josie Green, who was brought into the side today to keep her in her back pocket. Another chance for Ireland has just gone past the upright as well. Ireland very much in the ascendancy, but it's Ireland 0, Wales 0.
So 1-1 on aggregate, it remains. Harry Clark heads the ball away for Ipswich to his right. Goal in League 2. Colchester leads Swindon by 1-0. This is Ipswich 0, Crystal Palace 0 in the Premier League. Gahey on the ball for Palace, finds Will Hughes. Hughes plays back to Lacroix, who's the middle of the three centre-backs for Palace. He looks up, hits a long ball downfield for Munoz to chase. Tried that a couple of times. That one's just slightly overhit and goes behind for the Ipswich goal kick.
Yeah, it's a tough one tonight because of the dew on the pitch there. It's just going to skid off if you don't get it absolutely spot on. There's not a lot of space in behind either.
Ben Woodburn scored for Salford tonight against Harrogate Town. Both of those clubs, of course, got fabulous draws in that FA Cup third round draw last night. Salford away to Manchester City, and Harrogate have got the derby game at Ellen Road away to Leeds. Greaves and Davis exchange passes inside the Ipswich half on the left. Jack Clark has lost it. Slight murmurs of frustration from the Ipswich fans there, because Crystal Palace seeing a fair bit of the ball in the first 25 minutes here. Neither team's created a glorious opportunity as yet. Greaves volleys the ball away, and out it goes for a throw into Palace in an attacking position on the right. Yeah,
Ipswich at the moment are struggling to really get control of the game. Every time they get the ball, they seem to lose it. When they play out at the back, there's that moment that they're happy. Palace are happy to set off. The minute the ball goes out to one of the fullbacks, whether it's Leif Davis or Harry Clark, that's the signal for Palace to actually put a lot of pressure on. That's where they had most joy.
Will Hughes, low-driven cross into the Ipswich penalty area. Greaves was down there. He could have cleared that with his foot and ended up sort of a couple of inches off the floor with a diving header, and it caught his forehead. It's gone behind for a corner. Grimsby 2 up on Accrington in League 2. Accrington got a great cup tie in the third round of the cup as well. They're away to Liverpool, and AFC Wimbledon lead Newport by 1-0. Goals flying in League 2. Morecambe now 1-0 up away to Tranmere. Ipswich 0, Palace 0. Here's Eza for Palace with the corner from the left, headed high and wide and behind for a goal kick. Just going to mention this quickly as well. Had our eyes on this evening ahead of this game, this Premier League game, another one in the Premier League's Rainbow Laces campaign. Mark Gahey, the Crystal Palace captain, has another message on his captain's armband tonight. Tonight it reads, "Jesus loves you." On Saturday, on his armband was written, "I heart Jesus, I love Jesus," for the match against Newcastle. He was reprimanded by the FA for writing on his armband for Saturday's game, and the Ipswich captain Sam Morsey once again not wearing that armband tonight due to his religious beliefs. So that is the news from the two captains and the armbands this evening. Ipswich 0, Palace 0. 27 minutes in the first half. Eza turns, pirouetted on the left foot and just kept the ball tied to his right foot. Such a wonderful footballer to watch. Here he is again, just drops a shoulder, beats Morsey. Morsey's back at him, didn't like that. In heavily there on Eza. Eza's down, free kick for Crystal Palace. Is the Ipswich captain going to avoid a booking? Mark Schwarzer.
I think he will, because he actually just steps across Eza as he tries to hit that ball. He tries to play a long pass. Morsey just comes across and steps in the line of striking the ball. So in the end, he actually kicks Morsey in the back of the leg. So I don't think the referee's giving him a good talking to, but he's not giving him a yellow card.
Free kick Crystal Palace, they're waiting to take it. Just over 15 minutes away from the start of Leicester-West Ham. Commentary on that one on Sports Extra tonight. Colchester 2, Swindon 0. Loads of goals going in League 2 this evening. And just to remind you as well, the League 1 leaders Wycombe behind at Sandy Park at Exeter tonight, who scored in the second minute of that game. Chalabar's ball downfield. Chested down by O'Shea for Ipswich. Davis curls one towards Delap, heads it up in the air, controls it himself. Lacroix gets it away from him, and suddenly Palace on the move here, and Sarr finds Eza. Danger for Ipswich. Eza's got Ipswich defenders backpedaling. Important foot in the challenge from Harry Clark. Eza then goes for a shot from the rebound, heads it towards Mateta, nods it down. Doucouré hit that well. Ipswich body in the way to block it. O'Shea's taken a whack to the head. I think Mateta's down with a head injury too, so we're going to get a slight stoppage here at Portman Road. It's still Ipswich 0, Palace 0. Let's check in on Wrexham against Barnsley in League One. Sarah Mulkerrins.
14 minutes gone and it's Wrexham 0, Barnsley 0. Wrexham are under pressure. Barnsley are pressing them hard. One decent effort for the hosts. Ryan Barnett with a shot from the right, forced the save from Caleb, but it is Wrexham 0, Barnsley 0.
So we're waiting for a Crystal Palace corner to be taken here. Is there blood?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, you can see there's a wound there on O'Shea.
Right, so we're going to need that dealt with. Ipswich Town are going to get that dealt with. O'Shea wants the physio to come onto the field. He doesn't want to leave the field just yet. He wants Ipswich to get organised. Let's check in on our games in League Two. The leaders Port Vale away to Cheltenham tonight. Paul Scott.
Yeah, 16 minutes gone here. It's Cheltenham 0, Port Vale 0. Neither goalkeeper has had a save to make in the opening 16 minutes or so. Port Vale, the league leaders, seeing plenty of the ball, passing it around with real zip, weaving the patterns, but haven't really created any clear-cut opportunities. Cheltenham 0, Port Vale 0.
So the Ipswich physio's tending to Dara O'Shea's forehead, sort of 3 long streaks of blood pouring down his face, so they're dealing with that. Walsall Notts County, our other featured game in League Two tonight. Adam Cottier.
We're in the 16th minute here in the West Midlands. Walsall 0, Notts County 0. Notts County playing the more fluent football, but Walsall closest to scoring with a Ryan Stirk shot that faded wide of the post. Walsall 0, Notts County 0.
And back to Delith Lloyd watching Republic of Ireland against Wales in the Euro 2025 playoff.
Still 0-0. Wales under a bit of pressure at the moment, though. Julie Russell for Republic of Ireland with a tight angled attempt on goal, superbly saved by Olivia Clark, though had to stretch her fingertips to push it out. It fell to Heather Payne, who then hit wide for Ireland. Wales hanging on at the moment. 31 minutes gone. Republic of Ireland 0, Wales 0.
Let's get some injury insight from former Premier League goalkeeper Mark Schwarzer on that nasty looking head injury for Dara O'Shea. You've seen a close-up of it, Mark.
Yeah, it's a long one as well. It's probably at least 1.5 inches long. As they were trying to clean it up there, you could see as they were running the cloth across it, it was kind of opening up each time. I'd be surprised. I mean, the doctor's going to certainly earn their keep now. They can sort this one out, because it is a big one. Yeah,
it's not quite Terry Butcher against Sweden back in the day for England. Terry Butcher's probably in the ground here somewhere this evening. I know he always makes it to the Ipswich home games, but I mean, that is one of the most famous football images of all time, of giving absolutely everything for your country. You wouldn't be allowed to continue playing as Terry did that day. Eza's corner into the near post, flicked onto the back post, headed away by Burns, drops at the feet of Doucouré, takes his time. Another cross comes in, that's headed over the bar by Chalabar, and he slaps the crossbar in frustration because he knows that was a good chance.
That was a big chance. It was only because of the fact he was under so much pressure there. I think it's Cayusta who was trying to win the header himself. He put Chalabar under a lot of pressure, and Chalabar just couldn't control it as the ball was played across inside the 6-yard box. It's a big chance for Palace.
Yeah, Chalabar, who does have a goal for Crystal Palace already this season, scored in the 2-2 at Wolves, and actually had a decent scoring record for Chelsea too. Gets himself in good positions, can score goals. Wasn't able to do so there. Leyton Orient 1, Bristol Rovers 0 in League One this evening. Bristol Rovers will be coming here to Portman Road in the third round of the FA Cup. Dara O'Shea is ready to come back on, and the bandage is black and wrapped tightly around the Irishman's forehead. And the first thing he's going to have to do here is probably head a football, because there's a throw-in coming from Tyreek Mitchell, and the man this is going to be aimed at surely is Jean-Philippe Mateta, who is a giant of a centre forward with his yellow Palace shirt tightly clinging to his muscular frame as Will Hughes plays the ball back to Lacroix. Delap goes in to make a challenge. Sarr lays the ball off here to Chalabar. Bobbles one down the line to Munoz. Munoz one touch, finds Hughes inside the Palace half, turns away from Delap, finds Lacroix. Lacroix points and then plays a pass to his left here to Gahey. Forward to Eza, deep inside his own half. Back to Lacroix and across to Gahey. We've got 12 minutes remaining in the first half. Tense stuff at Portman Road. Ipswich 0, Crystal Palace 0. Neither team really wanting the draw. Obviously don't want to lose the game, but 3 points is what it's all about. Ball into the Ipswich half, down the inside right channel. O'Shea just had to be careful there to get the right contact on the ball to get it back to his goalkeeper, Muric. Muric swings a high ball away down the right. Gahey easily wins the header above Hutchinson, then continues his run down the left. Here's Eza looking for the 1-2 with Mateta, nearly ran back to Eza again. Cayusta brings it away for Ipswich and then passes it beyond Delap, and Lacroix chases it back into his own half and plays back to his goalkeeper, Dean Henderson.
Yeah, I think Liam Delap at that occasion thought that Jack Clark was making a run down the left-hand side, and he saw very quickly that he was actually probably 10 yards away from him in his own half, and decided he had to make that run for the ball. So at the moment they're still again struggling to keep hold of the ball, Ipswich, get out of their own half, because Palace have been very, very good in control of the ball.
Grimsby 3, Accrington 0. Ipswich 0, Palace 0 here. Ball up towards Eza down the left. Clark gives him a little nudge. It goes out for a Crystal Palace throw. Clark's now hurt for Ipswich. The decision has actually gone Ipswich's way. It's their throw, and Wes Burns just hangs on to it for a second. Back to Delith watching the Republic of Ireland against Wales in the Euro 2025 playoff.
Wales having a bit of possession in the last couple of minutes. Ali Lily Woodham, who scored on Friday in the first leg, had a free kick 25 yards out to the right of the D, saved well in the Ireland goal by Courtney Brosnan. Rhiannon Roberts then had an effort saved from the resulting corner, so Wales just enjoying a bit of possession at the moment, but it's still 0-0, 35 minutes gone.
Northern Ireland beaten tonight, Scotland beaten tonight away to Finland, so neither of those countries will be at the Euros in Switzerland next summer. All the reaction and analysis in the Women's Football Weekly podcast, which will be available on the Football Daily feed on the BBC Sounds app tomorrow. Harry Clark's given the ball away. Mateta trying to tee up a shot, hits it hard into the legs of O'Shea. Jack Clark's giving it away for Ipswich inside his own half. Lacroix thumps the ball at Doucouré, did well to chest that down and keep it for Palace. Palace interested now. Here's Eza, run on the left from Mitchell. Mitchell's cut back into the box, chance, and the shot is scooped towards the right-hand post. It's Greaves who gets his body in the way. I'm not sure whether that was actually going in.
No, it definitely wasn't. Munoz there was one on the end of it, just couldn't quite get the connection he needed. The ball was cut back, and it was cut back a little bit behind him, so he was stretching, and I think it comes off the toe of his boot and just sort of flops up into the air, and it was easily cleared in the end.
Wimbledon 2, Newport County 0. Mitchell again making moves for Palace down the left. Another cross comes into the near post, blocked by O'Shea, and behind it goes for a Crystal Palace corner. Another goal at Sandy Park. John Akers.
Yeah, here at St James's Park, you switched to rugby there for a minute, Ali. Easily done. Another goal for Exeter. The leaders who've won 11 in a row are 2-0 down. Jack McMillan from a corner forced it in on the goal line after a scramble. Exeter 2 with 2 tries to Wickham's none.
Thank you, John. I think I've done that twice tonight. I won't do that again. Appreciate it. So, here's Hutchinson trying to get away down the right for Ipswich. Doucouré sticks a leg out, and Hutchinson tried to knock it past him, knocked it straight out of play for a throw-in to Crystal Palace. Just inside their own half on the left. AFC Wimbledon, that's football not tennis, lead Newport by 2-0 in League 2 tonight. Here's Doucouré. Doucouré to Chalabar. Chalabar to Lacroix for Crystal Palace, playing in these bright yellow kits this evening. Gahey, long, high, spinning ball down the left. Headed away by Burns for Ipswich. Do you think Kieran McKenna will be a little bit frustrated his team haven't been able to get on the ball a bit more, Mark, and threaten Crystal Palace a little bit more at home?
I think he will be, yeah, because they've had times decent possession. They just haven't made the most of it.
That's what Crystal Palace are trying to do now. That's a lovely ball from Mateta. Eza takes it on the run. Left-footed shot blocked by Muric. There was a challenge on Eza as he hit the shot as well. Might have taken a little bit of pace off it. That was really important. It was Wes Burns who got all the way back there to do that. Muric made the save.
I tell you what, Wes Burns does really, really well. He gets back. He knows that Eze's in behind him. He gets inside the ball as the ball gets played inside. And Eze tries to actually get the shot off. And he comes back inside. And the deflection off Wes Burns takes it into Muric's hands.
Liam Delap, the Ipswich centre forward, getting physical again, this time with Lacroix. Lacroix went down holding his face. They were battling for a Muric clearance, and Delap had his arm out and shoved towards Lacroix, and Lacroix didn't like it. Free kick for Crystal Palace. No yellow card for Liam Delap. Muric off his line quickly, catches the ball on the bounce as Mitchell was trying to get on the end of the free kick forward from Palace. 7 minutes remaining in the first half. It's Ipswich 0, Crystal Palace 0. Here's Clark, Harry Clark at right back. Little ball to his right, finds Hutchinson. Gahey right behind him, breathing down his neck. Flicks the ball into Eze, and that's going to be a throw for Ipswich on the right. On air through until 10:30 this evening with 5 Live Sport. Commentary of Leicester West Ham. That starts on Sports Extra, but it will follow us here on 5 Live after this game finishes. Jack Clark gets on the ball for Ipswich. Leif Davis in support, wide on the left. The pass is just behind him. Controls it with his right foot, plays back to Clark, and Ipswich not making inroads there. Come back into their own half. Greaves wants to play forward to Kayusta. Lovely turn, he's caught on the halfway line. And that is going to be a free kick for Ipswich. That's Doucouré who's made the challenge. He's on a yellow card. I don't think that challenge, Mark, is worthy of another yellow card, but the Ipswich fans just trying to put pressure on the referee there.
Yeah, very much so. And it was a foul. There's no argument about that whatsoever. And I don't think it warrants a yellow card. It's on the halfway line. He does get beaten by the really good turn from Kayusta there. But the referee, I think, was spot on again.
Muric, well outside his penalty area, fires it forward with his right foot into the night sky. Kept in play by Davis, cushions the ball back to Clark. Clark wins the 50-50 with Will Hughes. Curling ball to the feet of Hutchinson. Central position in the middle of the Palace half. He's lost it. Will Hughes has it, forward to Mateta. Mateta plays back to Doucouré. Palace runners getting forward, but Doucouré turns and comes back to Lacroix.
Yeah, Murray Hutchinson a couple of times now in this first half has had the ball in good areas, good positions, tried something elaborate, loses control of the ball and just gives away the possession really easily. And that's the moans and groans that are starting slowly to appear here at Ipswich.
Chesterfield down to 10 men. Darren Oldacre has been sent off for a second bookable offence in their game this evening. Ipswich 0, Palace 0. Morsey, the Ipswich captain, on the ball. Little pass to the right to O'Shea. Harry Clark to Morsey. Back to Clark again. Head up all the time here, looking for runners. Trying to find Wes Burns. Can't do that. Back into midfield it goes to Morsey. Across to Greaves. Morsey was caught by Hughes. That's going to be a free kick for Ipswich. So yes, we're on air through until 10:30 tonight. And then late night Livesey follows us at 10:30. Just had a message from our football correspondent John Murray, who tells me he's just recorded the first floodlit fact of the day with Tony Livesey this evening. So that feature will continue on Tony's new show, and John has recorded that tonight. Another goal at Exeter, I'm going to say that safely. John Akers.
They've got one back here, Wickham's. Good game this, Ali. Exeter City 2, Wickham Wanderers 1. A corner headed straight in under the goalkeeper by Jolo. Exeter 2, Wickham 1.
Colchester 3, Swindon 0 in League 2. MK Dons have got a second against Chesterfield, who've had the man sent off. MK Dons 2, Chesterfield 0. Newport have one back against Wimbledon. Delap chasing for Ipswich, wide on the right. Ball drops out of the sky, brings it under control. Lacroix comes across, makes the tackle, and it goes out for an Ipswich throw. 3 minutes remaining in the first half. No goals, not too many chances. There was the cut-back cross on the left for Palace, wasn't there, Mark, that Munoz couldn't really get the shot on. That's been about it.
Well, as they's run through,
yes.
We saw that Wes Burns getting back and last-ditch defending. His deflection then puts the ball into Muric's hands.
Yeah.
So there was a couple of big chances for Crystal Palace, really.
Palace having the better of the first half. Both teams starting the night on 9 points. Kayusta's throw is awful. Didn't even beat the first man. Eze chested it away. Ipswich have it. Morsey crosses from deep. Henderson's come a long way for that, saw it early and grabs it. Did you like that, Mark?
Yeah, great goalkeeping. That's what I like to see. As he lines up to hit that ball into the 18-yard box, it sort of floats up, and you can see Dean Henderson, he was already off. It was his ball all the way into the box and does really well.
Henderson plops the ball down on the floor, passes out to Gahey. They play a couple of 1-2s. Gahey has it again. He's the left-sided centre-back for Palace. Clears downfield. Mateta is wrestling with O'Shea. Greaves in to win it for Ipswich. Gets it back from Morsey. Passes to his right to Burns. Burns doesn't see anything on ahead of him, so comes back to his goalkeeper, Muric. Muric passes across to Jacob Greaves again. Greaves with his left foot. Looks for Leif Davis, took his eye off that. The ball went over his left foot. Has Jack Clark kept it in on the left? No, he hasn't. Ipswich fans thought he had. Assistant referee says no. And that is going to be a throw-in for Crystal Palace. Natalie Aspinall, the assistant referee on the far side of the field to us. James Mainwaring is running the line in front of us here in the West Stand. Cayusta does well for Ipswich, then tries to thread one through to Burns, leaps in the air to control it, still Burns, gets the shot away, deflected, and behind for the corner to Ipswich, and suddenly the Ipswich fans, you sense a bit of encouragement there.
Yeah, Cayusta's brilliant first and foremost. His ball through to Wes Burns was a really good one, and Burns was really quick, looked to try and get a snapshot off, and it takes that deflection out for a corner. And I think that's what the Ipswich fans were excited about, the fact they played a bit more direct.
Really important question for you. What do you want at half-time, tea or coffee?
I'd love a coffee, please. Black
coffee. The order's coming in for Rob Nothman. Engineer Steve, tea or coffee? Can you make a symbol with your hand? He's gone tea. There we go. Orders in for the half-time drinks. 5 Live and BBC Sounds live at Portman Road. Leighton Orient 2, Bristol Rovers 0 in League One. Ipswich corner late in the first half. Leif Davis takes it into the near post. Flicked on, great block by Henderson with his legs at the near post. Denies Harry Clark, who timed his run brilliantly, got the contact he wanted on the header, and Henderson just basically closed the door at the near post.
Yeah, it's really good positioning. He was alert to it, wasn't he, as the ball came into that box there. Harry Clark, that near post, gets a perfect little flick on, and Henderson just makes his way across to that near post area, and it hits him in the groin area, so it was a bit painful for him, but he does a fantastic job.
Great save from Dean Henderson. That is the closest we've come to a goal. Fabulous delivery from Leif Davis, right in the perfect spot. Very difficult to defend. Muric clears with his right foot. 3 minutes of added time left at the end of the first half. Leicester West Ham will be getting underway right now in the Premier League. Full commentary of that game. It starts on Sports Extra, and it'll follow the conclusion of this on 5 Live tonight. Tomorrow night on 5 Live, we're at the Emirates Stadium for Arsenal against Manchester United. Here's Greaves being chased by Sarr. Forward to Cayusta. Cayusta goes to his left to Leif Davis. Ipswich much better late on in this first half, and then Davis looks for Delap. It's read by Lacroix. He clears it high in the air. Greaves is underneath it, heads it down the left-hand side. Munoz clears for Palace. Greaves in there again. Davis tries to bring the ball under control. Finds Jack Clark. Suddenly it opens up for Ipswich in midfield. Morsey passes across to Harry Clark. Clark runs to the ball, then looks for the run of Burns. Burns tries to get onto it on the right. Gahey slides in, got the ball, and his momentum took him into Burns, who was already going down.
Yeah, Mark Gahey, really good defending there. Got the timing perfect in that occasion. As he slides across, the ball then ricochets off Wes Burns into the goalkeeper's hands.
Tom Eaves sent off for Northampton in League One. So Northampton down to 10 men in that game. Henderson clears with his right foot. Long one downfield. Greaves heads it back towards Davis, chests it down, plays back to his goalkeeper Muric. The best clearance from Muric. Cayusta's there to sort of flick it on. Doucouré leans over Hutchinson, gets it back to Gahey. He lobs it forward, and Mateta's just a bit too aggressive in the challenge with O'Shea. O'Shea goes down, free kick Ipswich.
Yeah, it's just a real hustle and bustle, those two, the defender against the attacker, and they're just coming in. There's lots of arms, lots of legs around, and it certainly was a foul, but it's good little bit of play there, like a little challenge between the two of them.
1 goal in his last 11 games for Crystal Palace, Jean-Philippe Mateta, who finished last season with 13 in 13, and then obviously played at the Olympics as well and scored a load of goals for France. They've been a little bit harder to come by recently for the Palace centre-forward. Charlton 0, Crawley 1, latest. Ball is dropping on the edge of the Palace area. Hutchinson's there, good footwork. It's back with Morsey. Morsey's chased by Sarr for Palace. Here's Greaves. Greaves across to Clark. Back to Morsey. Morsey's low pass into the feet of Delap. Delap's 30 yards from goal. Turns, surrounded by yellow shirts. Mateta's there for Palace. Step over. He waves one of those long legs over the ball. It's played forward. O'Shea, good header there. Placed out to the left. O'Clark controls it. Finds Cayusta. Cayusta encouraged forward again by the Ipswich fans. Last minute of added time at the end of the first half. Harry Clark dummies across. Works it onto his right foot. Morsey, 40 yards out in the inside right channel. Ipswich work this to the right. Harry Clark plays to Hutchinson. Out wide to Burns. Burns fancies taking on Mitchell. Can't get past him. Mitchell gets a block in, then gets a foot on the ball. Eza holds Burns off. And that's the last action of the first half at Portman Road. All the players very close to the tunnel, actually, away to our right, so they'll get in quickly. Kieran McKenna, the Ipswich manager, goes jogging down that touchline. right up until the end of that first half, it was pretty much all Palace, Mark Schwarzer. They had the chances, but Dean Henderson made a really important block there from the Ipswich set piece late on, didn't he?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, Ipswich, I think, were a little bit disappointed the way that the vast majority of the half went. However, the last sort of 5 minutes or so, they've come back in it. They had the best chance of the game. Unfortunate, they didn't get a chance, get a goal, but it was a really good save from Henderson. So, yeah, in the end, good finish. Still a lot to do, though.
Yes, still a lot to do. Ipswich 0, Palace 0 at half-time. Going to finish by saying Grimsby have a fourth in the first half against Accrington. Grimsby 4, Accrington 0, but it's Ipswich 0, Palace 0. Mark.
Let's go straight to the King Power. Ruud van Nistelrooy is off to a flyer. Rob Schofield.
Thanks to Jamie Vardy, inside 3 minutes, slip through ball, vintage Vardy right-footed slip finish. And we had a lengthy VAR review. He did look offside in real time, but the lines were drawn. It was shown he was mildly onside, and the King Power is on its feet early, just going into the 5th minute now. Leicester 1, West Ham 0.
Yes, Sports Extra if you want to listen to that. Northern Ireland and Scotland both out of the playoffs for the Women's Euros 2025 this evening. How are Wales doing against the Republic of Ireland? Delith Lloyd.
Republic of Ireland 0, Wales 0. Mark, it's a match that's being played like there's so much at stake, both sides with chances. Influential Ireland captain Katie McCabe at the heart of everything by the home side, booked for her challenge on Josie Green. She escaped a second yellow for hacking at Rachel Rowe. Wales were incensed the ref didn't show the red card. Earlier, McCabe shot wide from distance after Denise O'Sullivan had rattled the bar midway through the first half, and a third effort on goal by Julie Russell saw Olivia Clark in the Wales goal produce a terrific save. Wales had a couple of chances of their own. Lily Woodham from a free kick 25 yards out was on target, but Courtney Brosnan palmed the ball away. Rhiannon Roberts then turned in the box for an attempt on goal from the resulting corner, but that was too saved. It's tense as you would expect. Wales looking to reach a first ever major tournament. Ireland have also never played at a Euros. Expect the tension to be ramped up even more in the second half. 0-0.
To the friendly between England and Switzerland. Bessie Glover.
England 1, Switzerland 0, and about 10 minutes left in this first half. Mark, England leading thanks to Grace Clinton's opener. 3 goals in 5 England appearances for the United Star. Now she is catching the eye. 21 years old, remember. England dominating this, but Clinton, Jess Park and Aggie Beaver-Jones linking up so well with debutant Ruby Mace running things in midfield. Switzerland have had a few moments on the counter-attack, but England have dealt with everything very well. England 1, Switzerland 0.
Thank you, Betty. Plenty of games in League One and League Two this evening. The League One leaders have got a fight on their hands. John Akers.
They really have. It could be 3-3 this. It's been a really good half so far. We're 9 minutes to the break. Wickham have got a free kick about 35 yards from goal at the moment. Exeter City came flying out of the blocks. Milinek Ali with a really nice finish on his right foot as a free kick's taken from distance, and it's claimed by the City goalkeeper Joe Whitworth. Then they got a second, Jack McMillan bundling in close range following a corner. A really simple header from a corner, direct from a corner from Wickham to make it 2-1 from Joe Lowe. Gary Caldwell, the Exeter City manager, would have been really frustrated about that. And they've missed chances since. Wickham. Exeter 2, Wickham 1.
So a chance for Wrexham to close the gap. They're at home to Barnsley. Sarah Mulkerrin.
Yeah, it's goalless so far. Wrexham struggling really to get on any sort of ball. Barnsley are dominating possession. Less clear-cut chances though from the visitors. Wrexham are down to their third choice keeper as well. Mark Howard is on the pitch after Callum Burton was injured diving low to punch a clearance, and Callum Burton was in fact replacing Arthur Okonkwo, who was injured a couple of weeks ago. That's perhaps the biggest storyline for Wrexham in this first half. Very little of note in terms of efforts from the hosts. It is Wrexham 0, Barnsley 0.
Elsewhere in League One, Bolton 0, Mansfield 1, Charlton 0, Crawley 1, Leyton Orient 2-0 up at home to Bristol Rovers. Goalless between Rotherham and Lincoln. Also between Stevenage and Northampton, although Northampton are down to 10 in that game. It's also 0-0 between Huddersfield and Wigan and Reading and Cambridge. before we do League Two, Leicester should already be 2 up. Rob Schofield.
Jamie Vardy again. Mavropanos cannot handle him. He spun off his shoulder and he came into that inside left-hand channel and hit into the side netting. But West Ham have a real problem with 37-year-old Jamie Vardy outrunning them all. Kudus back in the team after his ban's just headed over for West Ham. It's pretty end-to-end. Coming into the 9th minute, Leicester 1, West Ham 0.
Let's go into League Two then. The leaders, Port Vale, are at Cheltenham this evening and they are being watched by Paul Scott.
And they are being held at the moment. Cheltenham 0, Port Vale 0, 6 minutes ago until half-time. The first attempt, that went the way of the home side. Jordan Thomas fizzing the ball across the face of goal. Arkell Jude Boyd was arriving at the far post but fired into the side netting. Port Vale have seen plenty of the ball but they've created very little with it. Jayden Stockley just heading wide with their first attempt. It's goalless between Cheltenham and Port Vale.
Walsall in second, Notts County are in fifth, so we thought this would be a decent game. Obviously it's goalless. Adam Cottier.
You said it was, but it's really interesting, Mark. It's 0-0, but Notts County have had 77% of the possession and they've had one shot skewed off target by the former Ipswich man David McGoldrick. It's like they're in a supermarket with the trolley but not actually going to the checkout. Walsall have come closest. Liam Gordon with a low shot wide with his left foot, but it is Walsall 0, Notts County 0.
Elsewhere in League Two, AFC Wimbledon lead Newport by 2-1. It's goalless between Bradford and Barrow. Colchester 4, Swindon 0 as they approach half-time there. And as things stand, that would drop Swindon to the bottom of League Two. Also a 4-0 lead for Grimsby this evening at home to Accrington Stanley. MK Dons lead 10-man Chesterfield 2-0. Salford, who got that FA Cup draw at Manchester City yesterday, lead Harrogate, who got the FA Cup draw at Leeds by 1-0. Tranmere 0, Morecambe 1. A couple of games in Scottish League 1 this evening. Alloa 1, Dumbarton 1. Cove Rangers 0, Stenhousemuir 2 as they approach half-time, and that would take Stenhousemuir to the top of the table. One game in League Two, it's goalless between Bonnyrigg Rose and Stirling. 3 games in the Welsh Premier this evening. Briton Ferry 0, Newtown 0, Connors Quay 1, Carnarvon 0 and Pennybont 0, Haverford West 0. 26 minutes past 8, time for the BBC News.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
With the latest 5 Live News, I'm Johnny Freeman. South Korea's president says martial law will be lifted after his shock announcement was blocked by MPs in the country's parliament. Yoon Suk-yeol faced criticism for saying measures were needed to protect people from North Korean forces and anti-state elements. Former UK ambassador to Seoul, Simon Smith, says concerns about strict controls there are high.
Anybody over the age of about 45 is still going to have memories of a military dictatorship, and they are going to have very, very strong feelings about hearing messages which, frankly, carry something of an echo of a previous era.
3 women have made fresh allegations against MasterChef presenter Greg Wallace. The 60-year-old stood down from the show last week as an investigation takes place into claims of inappropriate behaviour, which he denies. Earlier, the BBC announced it won't be showing 2 MasterChef Christmas specials. It's emerged South Western Railway is set to become the first rail operator to be nationalised under the Labour government. Ministers are expected to announce the change will be made in May. Our business correspondent Ben King says the government believes this would make train travel cheaper.
This news comes days after the passage through Parliament of the Passenger Railway Services Public Ownership Act, which gives the government the power to take over railway franchises from private companies as and when they expire, because the government believes this will be more efficient and cheaper.
Raw sources say the Queen has recovered well but is still suffering from post-viral fatigue after she revealed she's been treated for a form of pneumonia. Camilla disclosed the information to guests at a reception earlier, marking the start of a state visit by the Emir of Qatar. And the British Museum says it's been holding constructive talks with officials in Greece about sculptures known as the Elgin Marbles. Downing Street says their future did not come up, though, during talks between the Prime Minister and his Greek counterpart today.
Good morning, 5 Live Breakfast with Rick and Rachel.
Let's talk to a man now, a runner who is close to breaking a record for running more than 2,500 miles coast to coast across Australia.
I've been running for about 14 hours, so I can't quite work out where I am, but I'm doing all right. That's the main thing.
Why are you doing it to yourself, Jack?
I want it to be a statement for people who are suffering with depression, and it really affected me. And I told myself that if I'm not scared of dying, I shouldn't be scared of failure. So go out and do something big.
5 Live Breakfast with Rachel Burden and Rick Edwards.
Weekdays from 6
on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Been a very entertaining start at the King Power. West Ham could be level, Rob.
They could, yes. Danny Ings heading in a Jared Bowen clip cross down into the base of the post. Max Kilman tried to scramble home the rebound but couldn't quite manage it. Both teams, I mean, it is end to end. They are two of the worst defences in the league. I suppose it's not a surprise as Leicester go on the break here. 15 minutes gone. Leicester 1, West Ham 0. This one just out to Buenanote, who slows it down. Clip cross should be cleared, does by Wan-Bissaka. Leicester 1, West Ham 0.
Sports Extra, if you want to listen to that here on 5 Live. We'll be back at Portman Road shortly, where it's Ipswich 0, Crystal Palace 0. As far as the Women's Euros are concerned, well, Scotland won't be there next summer. They were beaten 2-0 by Finland in Helsinki. We can hear from the Scotland captain, Caroline Weir.
I think we did everything. I mean, this game came down to a couple of moments that weren't in our favour. Really proud of the team. They couldn't have done much more. I think we played well, excuse me, especially first half. But yeah, unfortunately we've not done enough. It's a really tough one to take.
For you, as one of the more senior players in this side, it's now a third tournament in a row Scotland haven't managed. Just how disappointing is that? Because you, more than anyone else, I'm sure, knows the potential of this team.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to digest at the moment. Yeah, we wanted this really badly. Unfortunately, it wasn't our night tonight. The team's worked so hard the last couple of years to be in this position and then to take that final step. Unfortunately, we couldn't do that tonight, but the players gave everything. I'm really proud of the team, the staff. There's not much more we could have done, and unfortunately, it just wasn't enough this time.
Former Scotland international Jem Beattie joins us. Was there more they could have done?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, they performed so much better tonight based on the 0-0 result the other night. On Friday night, they threw absolutely everything at Finland tonight, but look, they were weak in the box, and conceding 2 from outside the area is really tough one. But listening to Kylie there, it's hard. This word disappointment is really frustrating that's continuing to be the narrative, knowing how much potential they have in that squad and players that are by far ready to be at the level of playing major tournaments. But look, really, really disappointing night and hard to listen to Kylie there.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? I mean, you can only keep talking about potential for so long, Jem, before it has to translate into qualification, and that's now 2 failed qualification campaigns under Pedro Martinez Losa.
It's tricky, and it sort of is right. A what's next? But I honestly think the biggest thing, right? They performed well tonight, but they didn't perform well at home at Easter Road the other night. But I've been saying this a lot. I think you can finally start to see the performances getting to the level that Pedro's been trying to work towards. He's been building this team, like you said, for a number of years now, and I really, really thought they were going to do it. I'll be honest. I didn't think we'd be having this conversation. I've never felt more confident in a Scotland team than this one, but it is a what's next, and what could they have done different? I'm not quite so sure.
It's that first leg that did it, really, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think when you don't get a result at home and then you have to take it away to Finland, a really, really strong side in front of a big crowd, that's always difficult. Of course, it was 0-0, so it wasn't a loss, but against a side like Finland, they defended unbelievably well tonight. I thought Scotland did throw everything at them in terms of the final third, created far more chances tonight than they did on Friday, but Finland were just everywhere. They defended much better than Scotland, and ultimately that's what's got them the result tonight.
Northern Ireland thrashed 7-0 on aggregate by Norway. They're out. Wales are on a knife edge against the Republic of Ireland. That's goalless this evening, and 1-1 on aggregate. I mean, if the 3 of them don't qualify, can you lump them all in together for analysis and what's gone wrong with the home nations, or are they all at different stages and therefore it wouldn't be particularly accurate to do so?
I think they all are at different stages. I think the one thing I probably could say about Scotland is the depth, and I think that's the similar things that these countries have in common. You know, that the pool of players isn't that big. I think we saw that tonight, just the lack of strikers being available to come off the bench and really go and change a game, and sending your centre-backs up top to try and scrap a result at the end of a game. But potentially pool of players is what we have in common in that sense. But that's when you've got to look at youth and player pathway in countries and domestic leagues in that sense to really develop players a little bit more over longer term.
Jen, thank you very much. Jen Beattie with us on 5 Live Sports. So Leicester still lead West Ham by a goal to 0 at the King Power, and that is on Sports Extra. It will come here to 5 Live at the conclusion of our first game. Ipswich against Crystal Palace, goalless at the break. So let's return to Mark Schwarzer and Murrayfield, Alistair Brucebourne.
Yeah, I'm not going to live that one down. I can see Chris Sutton getting hold of that at some point as well, because I know he likes to have a pop at me for being quite fond of my rugby. We're doing the football tonight in the Premier League. We're at Portman Road. It's Ipswich 0, Crystal Palace 0. Jefferson Lerma is coming on for Crystal Palace. Czech Doucouré was the man who replaced him in the starting lineup tonight. Czech Doucouré, only a 3rd Premier League start of the season for him. He played 64 minutes in their 2-2 draw at Villa recently. He was an unused sub against Newcastle at the weekend and has now played 45 minutes tonight. So they're having to go careful with him. So Jefferson Lerma, former Bournemouth man, comes into the Crystal Palace team. Second half underway here at Portman Road. Crystal Palace defending the goal away to our left in front of that Sir Bobby Robson stand, the North stand. They're all in yellow, in Ipswich Town in the blue shirts with the white pinstripe, white numbers on their backs, white shorts and blue socks, playing from right to left in the second half. Ipswich yet to win at home this season, Crystal Palace yet to win away, and neither of them have managed to find a goal as yet. Rotherham leading Lincoln by a 0 in League One. Now then, big moment in the game between Republic of Ireland and Wales in the Women's Euro 2025 playoffs. Penalty, Delith Lloyd.
A penalty to Wales in the 49th minute as well. Hannah Kane steps up, slides it into the middle, and she scores. Courtney Brosburn going the wrong way. Hannah Kane with her arms in the air. Unbelievable, really, because it all stemmed from a VAR check that the referee, Marta Huerta de Aza, went to the touchline to have a look. It stemmed from a Lily Woodham free kick, and it was a handball from Ireland. Hannah Kane in the side today, and she scores a penalty and give Wales hope. Can they reach a first major finals for the first time? Well, they're 1-0 up, 5 minutes into the second half, Ali.
Thank you, Delith. Just over a minute played in the second half at Portman Road. Ipswich 0, Crystal Palace 0. Jamie Vardy scoring early on for Leicester against West Ham. It kicked off at 8:15. Commentary at the moment is over on Sports Extra. Morsey's ball forward finds Hutchinson. Suddenly he turns and there's space for him to run into. Slides a pass to his right to Burns. Early cross hits Mitchell. Back onto Burns. Another cross comes in. Delap's header straight at Henderson. And that's a comfortable save for the Palace keeper.
Yeah, it was very comfortable for him. Luckily for him, it went straight at him there. I think Delap just couldn't get the power and the direction on that he needed because he was actually going away from the ball. The delivery in the box was excellent, and he got a bit lucky, of course, with the first ball into the box. Where's Burns, as he has that shot, gets blocked, ricochets back off him. He's able to smash it into that near post area, and then Delap just couldn't get enough on it.
Mark Schwarzer with us here at Portman Road, 2 minutes into the second half. Sarr chests the ball down, plays it back to the Colombian Munoz. Will Hughes looking for Mateta, strong defending from O'Shea. Shrugs off the Palace centre forward. Greaves clears for Ipswich, volleyed forward by Lacroix. O'Shea wins the battle again against Mateta and heads the ball powerfully away for a throw-in to Palace on the right. Ipswich lineup, Harry Murich in goal. Harry Clarkson at right back tonight in place of the injured Axel Twansebe. O'Shea and Greaves, the two centre-backs. Leif Davis, as ever, at left-back. Sam Morsey, the captain. Jens Kayusta alongside him in central midfield. Wes Burns, Amari Hutchinson and Jack Clark, the three, in behind the centre-forward, Liam Delap. Couple of step-overs on the left here. Clever from Mitchell, back to Hughes, into the feet of Eza, edge of the box, sits up for him, left-footed shot, big deflection, and behind it goes for a corner to Crystal Palace.
Yeah, it was off O'Shea there. He was very, very fortunate in the end because he didn't know where it was going to go, and it actually went back across to that near post area. Muric was going to his left, would have been beaten, would have been in the back of the net, but O'Shea stood big.
Yeah, hit it well with his left foot. Eza came off O'Shea's heel and went behind for the corner. Whistle blows for that corner. Palace fans very close to Eza as he runs up to take it with his right foot, swings it into the far post. Greaves heads it away for Ipswich in front of his goalkeeper Muric. Cushion touch from Hutchinson, all on his own, tries to bring the ball out of the Ipswich half, not able to do that. It runs loose, and then Clark looked to try and win it off Mitchell. Mitchell got there first, barges into him, knocks him over, and that's going to be a free kick for Palace. Just a reminder then, Wales scoring the penalty 1-0 up against the Republic of Ireland in those Euro 2025 playoffs. They lead 2-1 on aggregate. 1-0 up on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. Sorry, Mark.
No, I mean, it was just one of those ones where the ball gets played across, and there is a race to the ball for Jack Clark there, but Tariq Mitchell was there with plenty of time, and Jack Clark just gives away a needless free kick, an opportunity for Ipswich at that point to try and get a bit more momentum out of their own half, but he gives away a free kick, and it's easy for Palace then to keep possession and put them under more pressure again.
Crystal Palace have Dean Henderson in goal, back three of Chalabar, Lacroix and Gahey, Munoz and Mitchell, the wing-backs, Will Hughes and now Jefferson Lerma in central midfield. Chet Dekurib is on a yellow card as well, actually. That's a point worth making in terms of his substitution. Ismail Assar and Ebere Eza playing in behind Jean-Philippe Mateta as Henderson clears with his right foot. Munoz wins the header, beats Davis in the air. Davis gets to the next ball, but now he's running back towards his own byline. Mateta leans on him, knocks him over. Davis, grateful for the contact, can win the free kick for Ipswich, and they'll be able to clear from their left back position.
Yeah, no reason whatsoever for Mateta there to actually commit the foul. He's got the 2-on-1, Palace, in a corner, and in Ipswich's own half. They have an opportunity to win the ball really high up. He just barges him over.
Leicester 1, West Ham 0. Ipswich 0, Palace 0. Leicester win that, they go to 13 points. West Ham starting the night on 15 points. Palace and Ipswich, if they end up drawing this, will both be on 10. Chalabar trying to clear, doesn't manage it. Clark gets it for Ipswich, plays back to Davis, attacking position on the left. Hutchinson dummies across with his left foot, quick as a flash onto his right. Back to Cayusta. Cayusta taps it back to Greaves. Greaves sees only yellow shirts in front of him. Ipswich fans frustrated that they played back into their own half. They're going to go long here with Muric. He just flicks the ball upfield. Delap leaps athletically, nods it down to Hutchinson, immediately plays the ball out to the right, but it's beyond Burns and goes out for a throw-in to Palace.
Yeah, I think I mentioned in the first half there, Amari Hutchinson hasn't quite been on it today. His touch has let him down a little bit. That was another example, getting the ball, an opportunity to play the ball out wide. He just overhits it, and Ipswich give the ball away again.
Latest scores in Leagues 1 and 2, I'll bring you in a second. Game's kicking off at 7:45 this evening. This one in the Premier League kicked off at 7:30. Hutchinson flicks a header forward. Delap follows it, again just for good measure. Gave Lacroix a little nudge there as he was off balance and off the field. He went hurtling towards the hoardings. Hutchinson, clever movement, let the ball run across his body, turns again, inside right channel for Ipswich. Played to his right to Burns, drops a shoulder. Mitchell's not falling for that. Ipswich have to come back to the halfway line. Palace defending well here, and it's all the way back to the Ipswich keeper Muric. Longer ball again from left to right. No one there for Ipswich. Easily collected by Mitchell. Wes Burns starts to chase that now, and it comes back to Dean Henderson. So Mansfield 1-0 up at Bolton. Rotherham leading Lincoln by a goal to nil. Wrexham Barnsley goalless, as is Stevenage Northampton. Leyton Orient 3-0 up on Bristol Rovers. Crawley 1 up at Charlton. Exeter leading the leaders Wycombe by 2-1. Huddersfield and Wigan goalless. Reading Cambridge goalless. Those two actually kicked off at 8 o'clock. I'll bring you the League 2 scores in just a second, all at half time. Cayusta stretches his legs, makes a good run for Ipswich down the left, followed by 3 Palace defenders. None of them can win the ball. Here's Clark in support for Ipswich, slides a pass to Morsey, outside of his right boot, just flicks it to O'Shea, across to Greaves, first time layoff to Cayusta, back to the halfway line to O'Shea, into the feet of Morsey again, keeps the ball moving to his right to Harry Clark, delays the release of the pass, his path is blocked by Eza, he's chased by Eza across the halfway line, finds Greaves, Forward here to Jack Clark, away from Chalabar, releases Amari Hutchinson. Ipswich fans getting excited. Left-footed pass into the path of Burns. Burns low cross, Mitchell blocks it. Burns might get another chance here. Whips that in towards the near post. Lacroix is there, volleys it away only as far as Harry Clark. Here's Morsey, chips it up into the penalty area, easily headed away by Munoz. Not the best header though. Cayusta's there. Volleys a pass to Davis, into the feet of Cayusta again, back to Greaves, wide to Jack Clark. Clark up against Munoz, cuts inside onto his right foot, rolls it back to Morsey, 25 yards out, uses Clark again as the wall. Dara O'Shea lines one up and fizzes one over the bar and behind for a Palace goal kick. Mark?
Yeah, positive again from Ipswich this time. Going forward, keeping possession well, just not getting that final shot off on goal there. O'Shea from distance was never really going to test Henderson unless it was something out of this world. And in the end, it was a bit of a relief, I think, for Palace, because they were out of possession for some time. Ipswich just weren't clinical enough.
MK Dons 2, Chesterfield 0. Half-time scores in League 2. Morecambe 1 up at Tranmere. Bradford 0, Barrow 0. Grimsby thumping Accrington 4-0. Wimbledon 2, Newport 1. Cheltenham and Port Vale, the leaders, goalless. Salford 1 up on Harrogate. Colchester 4, Swindon 0. Walsall 0. Notts County 0. You're up to date with everything that's going on. Eza back to the halfway line to Lerma for Palace. Gahey comes trotting forward, almost 10 minutes into the second half here at a chilly Portman Road. Eza to Hughes. Hughes under pressure here. Ipswich trying to outnumber him, but he's kept it, gives it to Eza. Lerma quickly shuffles a pass out to Gahey. Wide it goes to Mitchell. Mitchell with his right foot looks for Mateta. Ipswich have it again, but it breaks for Mateta now. Turns. His pass is beyond Sarr into the Ipswich penalty area and all the way back to Murich. And they're trying, both of these teams, to fashion the opportunities. They're struggling to do so. Quick clearance from Murich up towards Delap, kicked in the back of the legs by Lacroix, who sort of laughs at the fact that a free kick's been given against him, but Ipswich will get to restart the game with a free kick.
Yeah, it's nothing more than a free kick. He was in his back there, but Delap was just waiting for him. He knew, get the ball under control, which he did really, really well. Great first touch, gets his body in between him and Lacroix was always going to knock him over.
That is the voice of Mark Schwarzer, who I was reminded today, playing our game of Sutton Death on the Fantasy 606 podcast, is in the top 10 for Premier League appearance makers. We were doing players with 400 or more Premier League appearances, and you are way beyond that. Well, I think 514, I think.
That's correct.
Today, very good. Leif Davis, high ball, headed forward, but straight into the arms of Dean Henderson from the Ipswich set piece. And it's O'Shea, the Ipswich centre-back, who's playing with the bandaged head now this evening, having taken a whack to the head in the first half, who got his head on that ball.
He's going to have a nice scar there as well. I tell you what, he's been exceptional as well for Ipswich. He's been in the middle of everything. He's been obviously, there's a really good battle between him and Mateta up front, and they're going to need him to continue to play well.
Mateta wins it this time, lays the ball off to Munoz. Munoz with the socks rolled down on the right, advances forward a few yards, sees Jacob Greaves in the way, comes back to the halfway line, and Glasner leaps up in the air in frustration down beneath us in the technical area. Ipswich 0, Crystal Palace 0. Leicester leading West Ham by a goal to 0. Jamie Vardy scoring in the second minute. Morsey nearly caught in possession inside his own half, but finds Burns. Burns looking for Delap. Delap controls it, slightly off balance, running forward, stumbles to the floor, no free kick. Lerma's there to Gahey, up towards Eza. Eza, elegant runner with the ball, tall figure, runs across his own half. Munoz to Chalabar, back into the feet of Lacroix. Lacroix looks to his left, sees Gahey in space. Gahey gets his head down and starts motoring down that left-hand side. Hutchinson tracks the run. Lerma strokes it forward towards Sarr. Greaves in quickly, falls at the feet of Jack Clark. Will Hughes with the tackle. That's a foul. That's a yellow card for the Crystal Palace man. It's a free kick for Ipswich.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really tight one. The referee's in a good position. We'll have to watch the replay. Whether or not Will Hughes actually gets the ball. No, I think he actually does get him, does go through Jack Clark. We'll see it again. Yeah, he definitely treads on his foot. And Will Hughes gets up and plays the innocent victim, but he was definitely guilty.
Last time these two teams met, actually, I was looking in the notes today, was in the League Cup at Selhurst Park, August 2017, which was notable because it was Frank de Boer's only win as Crystal Palace manager. They beat Ipswich by 2-1 in the second round of the League Cup. But that didn't last too long. Here's Hutchinson, the ball's beyond him on the edge of the Palace box. Hughes finds Eza. Morsey sweeps a left foot at the ball, wins it back for Ipswich. Wes Burns is there inside his own half, and Ipswich patiently start to build again and use Morsey. Morsey now looking for the run of Delap up against Chalabar, uses his body to lean into Chalabar. Chalabar thought about tugging him back there and then wisely decided against it. Delap keeps it, moving away from goal on the left, passes back towards Cayusta. The pass is blocked, falls to Delap again, hits the shot, double deflection. Here's Lacroix, calmly clears. Mateta wins the header, clever header as well to Lerma. Lerma with a precise pass finds Eza. Mateta's continued his run through the middle, has the beating of Greaves, runs past Greaves, another touch, clips it over the keeper and into the back of the net. And Palace have gone from one end of the field to the other just like that. And Jean-Philippe Mateta, involved early on in the move, had the composure, had the class to take his time, flick it over the keeper. It's a massive goal for Palace. It's Ipswich 0, Crystal Palace 1.
Mateta does exceptionally well, really well, under a lot of pressure, first and foremost from Greaves. Greaves gets beaten by him. Mateta almost falls over, he keeps his footing as he turns and steadies himself. He gets the finish because he has Muric coming straight out at him. And as Muric comes out, makes himself big, he just dinks it to the far corner. It's a brilliant finish.
Shrugs off Greaves as if he isn't there. Sliding challenge from Harry Clark, but it's such a lovely clip with his left foot over the goalkeeper. Little step that did for Greaves. Ipswich defenders throwing themselves, trying to block the shot, couldn't do it, and Crystal Palace lead Ipswich at Portman Road by 1-0. So are Palace going to get their first away win of the season? They're coming back to the halfway line after the celebrations. What about the Republic of Ireland against Wales, the Women's Euro 2025 playoff second leg? Delic Lloyd.
Wales are 27 minutes away from reaching their first ever major tournament. They lead 1-0 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate thanks to that Hannah Kane penalty on 50 minutes. They could have made it 2, and Hannah James with a great effort after some brilliant work from Lily Woodham and Kane. But her shot was saved. Hannah Kane has since gone off. Fionn Morgan is on for her, and Jess Fishlock is shedding tears. She's taken a knock, she's had to be subbed, and Carrie Jones is on for Wales. So 2 changes for Wales. They lead 1-0 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate.
So Crystal Palace leading Ipswich by 1-0 at Portman Road in these 2 big games in the lower reaches of the Premier League table tonight. Commentary at the moment on Sports Extra of Leicester West Ham. First half of that one kicked off at 8:15. Leicester lead West Ham by 1-0. Mateta's looking to get in again, and he is in behind Greaves. Greaves trying to stick with him this time. Chipped cross from Mateta, easy for Muric, leaps in the air and catches it cleanly in both hands. Tranmere 1, Morecambe 1. Jordan Turnbull with the equaliser for Tranmere in League 2. Tomorrow night on 5 Live, we're at the Emirates Stadium. Fascinating game, this one. Arsenal really back in form with Martin Ødegaard back in the team. Host Ruben Amorim's Manchester United, who thumped Everton 4-0 at the weekend. On Sports Extra tomorrow night, kicking off at 7:30. We've got full commentary of Newcastle, Liverpool, and the other 4 games. If you want commentary on those, available via the BBC Sport website and app. Burns with pace away down the right for Ipswich, looks to get that cross in. Mitchell's done so well against Burns, blocks it again. That'll go out for an Ipswich throw.
Yeah, it's another really good battle in this game here. Tariq Mitchell down the left-hand side for Crystal Palace, up against Wes Burns, and at the moment Mitchell's winning that battle. He's done really well.
Thursday night, Bournemouth-Tottenham is our 5 Live commentary. Kicks off at 8:15. Fulham-Brighton is on Sports Extra. Then we do it all again at the weekend as well. Ipswich play back to their goalkeeper Muric. No one else inside the Ipswich half away to our right. Just less than half an hour to play. Ipswich 0, Crystal Palace 1. Ipswich, QPR and Morecambe, the only teams in the Football League without a home league win so far this season. Greaves forward to Jack Clark, took his eye off the ball, allowed Chalabar to get a foot in. He poked it into the Ipswich half. Davis plays it back to his goalkeeper. Morecambe have responded quickly after Tranmere equalised. Morecambe now 2-1 up away to Tranmere. So 2 early goals in the second half in that game. O'Shea plays down the right. Harry Clark is bundled over here by Eza. That's going to be a free kick for Ipswich. Just inside the Palace half, wide on the right-hand side. Hutchinson wants to get involved, comes short to collect the free kick. Couple of touches and plays back to O'Shea. Wide to Clark. O'Shea again inside his own half. Sarr closes this down. Greaves plays it forward to Morsey. Hutchinson starts a run. Morsey's going to look for him, but the pass is overhit, and that's very easy for Henderson to collect.
Yeah, Hutchinson sort of half started that run, and as he did, Morsey puts his head down and looked for that ball over the top, and by that stage, Hutchinson then slowed up, and he just gives the ball away straight to Dean Henderson in the Palace goal.
Dean Henderson just casually bounces the ball and then decides he needs to move 5 yards to his right-hand side before he clears it. Ipswich fans don't like that. Henderson clears with his right foot. Greaves heads the ball away. Little pass to Will Hughes. Poke forward to Sarr. Lovely pass over the top to Eza. Eza inside the Ipswich penalty area, left-footed cross, blocked by O'Shea. Morsey heads it away, right-footed volley, scuffed by Lerma, well wide of the target. Delith Lloyd has seen another goal. Delith.
Wales are 2-0 up on the night, 3-1 up on aggregate. Carrie Jones, who's only been on the pitch for a couple of minutes, has taken a superbly goal in the D after picking it up midway through the Irish half after the ball was played through to her. Nothing Courtney Brosnan could do. Celebrations are off the charts amongst the Wales fans in Dublin. 2-0 on the night, 3-1 on aggregate.
Liam Delap chasing a ball for Ipswich. Dean Henderson was just outside his penalty area, cleverly then realised where he was, backed off a step, allowed it to run into his box and got there just before Delap.
He did really well again, because that ball was bouncing through, and I think initially he thought he's going to come out and head this ball, try and clear it, or they head it, or they chest it, and then in the end he realised he just had enough to jump back into his 18-yard box and makes the catch.
Eza on the turn, Ipswich appealing for offside. Eventually the flag goes up when the ball falls at Eza's feet, and Ipswich will get the free kick. So Wales now 3-1 up on aggregate against the Republic of Ireland. So they look like they're heading to Switzerland next summer. England playing Switzerland tonight at Bramall Lane in a friendly. Northern Ireland knocked out this evening, and Scotland knocked out this evening as well, which was a tough one to take away to Finland. All the reaction in the Women's Football Weekly podcast, available on the BBC Sounds app tomorrow. Ipswich are about to make a treble change here. Reaction to the Premier League football, all the other football news in the Football Daily tomorrow. And John Murray, Ian Dennis and I will be recording the third episode of the Commentator's View podcast. New podcast available on the BBC Sounds app on a Friday. We've still not quite got the email address up and running. So your emails at the moment for that go to fantasy606@bbc.co.uk, but that will change in time. And it gives me a chance to say Fantasy 606 podcast available on the BBC Sounds app on Thursday for you. There's been a goal in League Two. Cheltenham Port Vale, Paul Scott.
It is Cheltenham 1, Port Vale 0. The league leaders are trailing. A corner from the left wasn't dealt with. There were 3 attempts, 2 were cleared off the line, and the third was lashed home from close range by George Miller. Cheltenham 1, Port Vale 0.
So triple change for Ipswich. Connor Chaplin's on for Wes Burns. Jack Taylor on for Jens Kajusta. And Nathan Broadhead, making only a second appearance of the season, he is on for Jack Clark. Kieran McKenna shaking it up, needs to do something. 21 minutes played in the second half, just 1 win all season for Ipswich, just 1 win all season for Crystal Palace, but crucially it's Palace who lead here by 1-0. Mateta the scorer, Harry Clark to his right. Ball drops in midfield for Broadhead, just beaten to that for Ipswich. Chaplin's trying to win it back just inside the Palace half. Mitchell able to hold on to it. Clever pass down the left-hand touchline. Eza turns away from Harry Clark. Curling pass over the top. Oh, Muric came, then stayed. And Mateta shoots and Muric blocks. And that's a really important save from the Ipswich goalkeeper.
Yeah, big save. Massive save from Muric. He makes himself really big. Just comes out, stops, waits for Mateta to get the shot off on goal. As he does, Mateta, I think, just takes a little bit of time. Muric does really well. Big block.
So corner for Crystal Palace. They're quite happy to take their time over this. Leicester still leading West Ham by 1-0. And there's been a goal at Walsall. Walsall playing Notts County in League Two. Adam Cottier.
It is Walsall 1, Notts County 0. Tyler Allen with a corner from the right-hand side, left-footed all the way in over everyone in the 6-yard area. And Walsall, as it stands, going level on points with the leaders Port Vale. It's Walsall 1, Notts County 0.
Ball goes flashing across the face of the Ipswich Town goal from the Eza corner. Last touch came off an Ipswich player. Another corner for Crystal Palace. Mateta chased it for a bit, then realised his team were going to win another corner. So it's Will Hughes who comes jogging ever so slowly, dragging himself towards the corner flag here, ready to take the corner for Palace. Midway through the second half at Portman Road, And I can see that little screen above the tunnel away to our right. Ipswich badge to the left, 0. Crystal Palace badge to the right, 1. Will Hughes waits to take the corner with his left foot into the near post, volleyed away by Morsey. Headed back into that Ipswich penalty area. A little flicked header by Lerma. Davis up to win a header. Lerma's there again. Lobs it forward. Mateta goes down inside the box. Davis scrambles a clearance away. Hutchinson is going to chase that for Ipswich. Tyrick Mitchell is there first. Palace working it in from the left. Mitchell chasing that ball down to the byline. It goes behind for a goal kick. Another goal in the game between Exeter and Wycombe in League One. John Akers.
The leaders are level. Exeter City 2, Wycombe Wanderers 2. So from 2-0 down, the leaders of League One are level. It's a brilliant finish from Cam Humphreys. Edge of the box, left foot, curler, beat the keeper to his right. It's 2-2.
Ipswich 0, Palace 1, Leicester 1, West Ham 0. Tomorrow night, Arsenal against Manchester United kicks off at 8:15. Full commentary on 5 Live. Luke Shaw has confirmed on Instagram he suffered a small setback. The Manchester United left-back says he's absolutely devastated to have picked up what is a new muscle injury. He's likely to be out for a few weeks. Ruben Amorim quickly getting to find out what being the Manchester United manager is all about. That's a real shame for Luke Shaw. He's played so little football recently, and it was great to see him back playing again. So he's going to be out for a few more weeks. Just over 20 minutes to play at Portman Road. Eze underneath the ball for Palace. He was trying to let that come down, headed away from him. Broadhead gets onto it for Ipswich, tries to run past Chalabar. Challenged by Lerma, wins it for Palace. Goes wide to Munoz on the right. Plays back to Henderson, and Henderson clears with his right foot, only as far as Morsey heads it forward. Lacroix heads it away. Chested down in midfield by Jack Taylor to Leif Davis. Tries to play the 1-2 with Taylor. They've done that well, Ipswich. Cross comes in from Davis. Oh, Delap's header glancing across the face of goal, and it's knocked behind by Mitchell for an Ipswich corner. What a cross.
That's an absolutely brilliant cross from Leif Davis from this left-hand side. He whips it in across that 6-yard box. Liam Delap, you're just thinking this is going to go in the back of the net. And he tries to really delicately angle it towards the goal. And in doing so, gets the faintest of touches on the ball.
Leif Davis coming over to take this corner for Ipswich. Applauds the Ipswich fans as they chant his name. Trots to the quadrant, places the ball very deliberately and carefully down on the edge of the line, and then makes a couple of steps back. Ipswich trailing Palace by 1-0. Davis delivers into that near post. Gahey is able to get a block on it. Eze passes out to Will Hughes. Yellow shirts flying forward into the Ipswich half. Could Crystal Palace kill the game here? Hughes to Ismail Assar. Sarr, edge of the Ipswich penalty area. Right-footed pass, didn't pick the right option. Hutchinson is able to block it. Ipswich trying to win it back on the edge of their own box. Davis can't quite do that. Sarr to Chalabar. Chalabar's ball back into the centre circle to Gahey. Gahey looks to his left. Sees space over there. Mitchell down the line to Eze. Ipswich are stretched here. Eze's cross into the box. Diving header away for Ipswich, only as far as Gahey. Gahey to Eze. They play a little 1-2. Lerma's on the ball. And we're into the last 20 minutes of the game. Leicester leading West Ham by 1-0, and Palace here 1 up on Ipswich. Lerma breathing heavily to Lacroix. Lacroix zips a pass into the feet of Munoz. Munoz back to Chalabar. Chalabar to Lacroix again inside his own half. Delap chases, doesn't get anywhere near him. Across to Gahey. Gahey floats a pass down the left over the head of Hutchinson into the path of Mitchell. Couldn't quite take that in his stride. Turns away from Hutchinson. Plays the ball back into the inside left channel. Low pass looking for Reza. Stretches, stumbles, keeps his balance, back on his feet, lays it back, and Chaplin's there to intercept for Ipswich. And now suddenly Ipswich sense an opportunity on the counter-attack. Broadhead is tackled by Will Hughes. England's women playing Switzerland in a friendly at Bramall Lane. Here's Betty Glover.
Still leading 1-0. Grace Clinton with the goal in the first half, but Switzerland have turned it on. Great run forward by Bene, beats Millie Turner, is 1-on-1 with Hampton in goal, but it was well saved. England responded down the other end. Laura Blind killed Brown, but a diving save from the keeper keeps out her firing shot. England leading Switzerland 1-0.
And Wales still 2-0 up away to the Republic of Ireland in that second leg of the Euro 2025 playoffs. Wales's women lead 3-1 on aggregate. Here's Broadhead for Ipswich. Little chop inside. Lacroix didn't make contact with Broadhead. He couldn't keep the ball. Palace have it again. What are you making of it, Mark Schwarzer?
Well, I mean, I think it can still go either way. Obviously, Palace look more threatening going forward. They've missed a couple of chances. Obviously, Mateta with a chance where Muric makes a really good block. But when it's 1-0, there's always a danger, isn't it? I mean, Ipswich have got the quality going forward. They can, if they get it together, can hurt Crystal Palace. We saw that just a moments ago where Delap had a big chance from only about 6 yards out and almost completely missed the ball. So a lot hanging in the balance still.
Bradford 0, Barrow 1 in League 2. Munoz tackled by Broadhead for Ipswich. Clever pass finds Delap. Little layoff from him back into midfield to Taylor. Delap was caught late. It's going to be an Ipswich free kick. This is Ipswich's 27th season in the top division of English football. They are on their longest run of home games without a win from the start of a top flight season before today. Drawn 4, lost 2, losing this one as well. I know Mark Chapman will accuse me of being negative there from the Ipswich Town perspective. There's still time for them to try and find something from this game. Going to be a massive 3 points for Palace if they can get it though. Harry Clark has to come back to Murich. Best chance for Ipswich came late in the first half from the Leif Davis set piece. Flicked header from Harry Clark was blocked by Dean Henderson at the near post. Leif Davis starts to run down the left. Murich is looking for Delap, who wants to win the flick on. It doesn't quite reach Davis. Davis bumps into Munoz, wins it. Delap chases his pass. Gahey is there, comes sprinting across. Delap goes shoulder to shoulder with him, looks to win another tackle against Munoz, down by the touchline. The ball has gone out of play here. Just got to wait and see whether that's going to be a free kick for Palace. I think it is going to be a free kick for Delap's challenge on Munoz. Walsall, Notts County. There's been a goal in League 2, Adam Cottier.
And it's a second goal for Walsall. They've had just 23% possession in this game, but George Hall has just shifted the ball onto his right foot in the box and found the corner with a right foot shot. It's Walsall 2, Notts County 0.
Referee is surrounded at the moment by a few of the Crystal Palace players. Connor Chaplin is there to get a word in for Ipswich as well. Dean Henderson gets ready to take the free kick for Crystal Palace. They're doing a very professional job so far this evening. And the goal was a thing of beauty, you have to say, Mark, don't you, in terms of the way Palace worked it up the field from right on the edge of their own box all the way into Ipswich's area for Mateta to score.
Yeah, it was a really good breakaway goal. And as Mateta gets on one-on-one with Murich, and he's got defenders coming across as well to try and cover, he just keeps his cool and he places it, he chips it over Murich and it goes into the left out or the right hand side of the goal, and it gave him really no chance whatsoever. So really good finish, and when he found himself in a really good position afterwards, you would have thought he'd score again, didn't you?
Well, exactly that, yeah. Justin Devaney, the 21-year-old Northern Irishman, is on for Eza. Eza's made way for Crystal Palace. 15 minutes to play here. Ipswich 0, Palace 1. What about Leicester-West Ham? Rob Schofield. Hang on a sec, Rob. The ball's bouncing inside the Crystal Palace half. Delap's trying to get onto it. Headed forward here by Taylor. Volleyed away by Gahey. Mateta's interested in this. O'Shea wins the header. Leif Davis is there. Looks for a little 1-2 with Taylor. Davis's left-footed ball won't find Delap. Rob, take it away.
Time Ali, Leicester 1, West Ham 0. Jamie Vardy's second-minute goal still the difference. A trademark run initially flagged offside but given by VAR. West Ham have dominated since then. 18 attempts on goal, 6 on target. Bowen and Kudus forcing Hermansen into smart saves. Ruud van Nistelrooy will want more control, but he's got the goal. Lopetegui looks very stressed, to put it lightly. Leicester 1, West Ham 0.
Commentary over on Sports Extra. As soon as this game is over, we will hand it over to Chris Wise, and Paul Robinson will bring you home with the rest of that game here on 5 Live. Delap for Ipswich. Played to Broadhead. Little touch takes him away down the left. He tries to keep that in play on the touchline. Assistant referee looks down the line and says that ball has gone out. The whole of the ball has crossed the line, and that is going to be a throw-in for Leicester. You can hear the Ipswich fans don't like it.
Yeah, well, I agree. I don't think that ball was out. We're right above that touchline. And I don't think Kieran McKenna is also in disbelief that ball's been called out.
Rotherham 1, Lincoln 0, half-time score in League 1 this evening. Accrington have a goal back at Grimsby. Probably won't make any difference to the end result. Grimsby 4, Accrington 1. 13 minutes to play here at Portman Road. Dean Henderson, the Palace keeper, clears into the Ipswich half. Mitchell is there from left wing back to control it. Plays to Gahey. Along to Will Hughes. Hughes to Lacroix. Lacroix strokes a pass to his right to Chalabar. Forward into the Ipswich half. Greaves. His ball forward hits Sarr. He then tries to win it back in a hurry. Fouls Sarr in doing that. And the Ipswich centre-back picks up a yellow card. Reading lead Cambridge by a goal to 0. Lewis Wing has got Reading in front against Cambridge in League 1. Palace playing this expertly at the moment, I would argue, Mark Schwarzer.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they've done well. They've really held the ball well. This occasion, you can see Sarr there. He does initially, his first touch is a little bit wayward. That's why Greaves sort of lunges in to try and make the challenge. But he's quick enough then to get the touch past him, and he wins the foul. So at the moment, Palace have obviously Tom on their side. They've got an opportunity. They've got the lead. They can play this out. They've got the experience as well. And I think, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another goal before the end of the game.
Here's Hughes. Free kick into the edge of the Ipswich penalty area. Header falls at the feet of Hutchinson. Takes it out to the right. Followed there by Lacroix. Palace fans cheer because Lacroix's won the battle and Palace have the ball again inside their own half, and it's gone very quiet inside Portman Road at the moment. Ipswich fans fearing the worst. Ali Al-Hamadi is waiting to come on for Ipswich. Greaves thumps the ball away with his left foot, and his manager McKenna catches it and then just drops it because it's going to be a Palace throw. And Liam Delap, having run his socks off again for Ipswich, is replaced by Ali Al-Hamadi. Crystal Palace's next game is at home to the champions Manchester City on Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff. That is where Ian Dennis will be for our 3 o'clock commentary on Saturday afternoon, bringing you all the goals as they go in up and down the country. Our 5:30 on Saturday is Manchester United against Nottingham Forest, but before that you've got all the commentaries to come tomorrow night and Thursday night. Al-Hamadi getting away for Ipswich down the left hand side, chased by Lerma, cuts it back onto his right foot, pokes it back to Broadhead just outside the Palace area, finds Morsey across to Harry Clark. Palace are back in numbers. Hutchinson, bit of skill here on the right, whips the crossing with his left foot. Henderson comes flying out, punches the ball away, falls at the feet of Ismaila Sarr. Davis comes scampering back to try and win it for Ipswich. He's done that. Sarr's lost that too easily from Palace's point of view. Al-Hamadi, positive introduction from the manager there. Cross in from Davis, chested down by Morsey, hits the shot, slices it well wide of the target. Goal kick, Crystal Palace.
Yeah, good little play there. Al-Hamadi does really well, and when he first comes on, he's just got a bit more energy. Delap was definitely fading a little bit. He'd done a lot of work up until that point. Al-Hamadi's done very well down his left-hand side, and it lifted the whole crowd as well. And then there was a bit of momentum shifting towards Ipswich, and unfortunately, the shot from Morsey was just wayward.
Huddersfield lead Wigan by 1-0. And Charlton have an equaliser against Crawley, second half in League One. Charlton 1, Crawley 1. The American centre-back Chris Richards is coming on for Trevor Chalabar, and that's a change being made by Oliver Glasner. 10 minutes to play, plus added time. Once we're done here, we'll take you to the King Power for Leicester West Ham at half-time. Ruud van Nistelrooy's first game in charge. Leicester City leading West Ham by 1-0. Jamie Vardy with the goal in the second minute. Mateta clobbers the ball forward with his right foot. Muric comes running out of his penalty area to the left and is happy to let that go behind for the goal kick. Picks the ball up quickly. Ipswich got to show some urgency now. Muric gets it from O'Shea, plays it back to O'Shea. Ipswich's centre-back passes out to the right to Clark. Clark to Morsey back to Muric. Muric then, first time, just launches one high in the air. Al-Hamadi battling with Lacroix. Lacroix stands his ground, heads it away. Lerma chests the ball down. Hughes plays forward to Devaney. Devaney lays it off to Sarr. Sarr asking Mateta to run again. Mateta forced wide on the left. Cross comes into the penalty area. Deflected, and Jack Taylor passes it away. Finds Hutchinson. Crosses the halfway line. Showed too much of it to Gahey, who comes running across, slides in and knocks it out for an Ipswich throw. Yeah,
Gahey expertly just waits. He's biding his time. He's got the pace. He knows he can stay with him. He just waits for that little touch. Hutchinson again, little bit heavy touch, and allows Gahey to come across and make a vital challenge.
Here's Jack Taylor with the ball on the halfway line. Passes with his right foot here. Across to Harry Clark for Ipswich. Trying to find an equaliser late in this game. Ipswich 0. Palace 1. Morsey on the turn on the halfway line, forward to Broadhead. Clever little skill from him, beats Hughes. Cross here to Chaplin. Wide to Hutchinson. Hutchinson running at Mitchell into the Palace penalty area, heading for the byline. Cross comes in right across the face of goal, and all the way in behind for a goal kick. Another goal in the game in the Euro 2025 playoff game between the Republic of Ireland and Wales. Delith Lloyd.
4 minutes remaining, and it's gone to the Republic of Ireland. Anna Patton with a header from a corner. First header was initially saved off the line by Rhiannon Roberts, but Patton has got one back for Ireland. It's 2-1 Wales on the night. Wales lead 3-2 on aggregate.
Mansfield 1 up at Bolton. They're now down to 10 men. Hiram Boateng's been sent off. Grimsby have a 5th against Accrington in League 2. Grimsby 5, Accrington 1. 7 minutes remaining in this game. Ipswich 0, Palace 1. There was a threat from Ipswich there. Hutchinson now stationed wide on the right-hand side, and Connor Chaplin's gone into that hole in behind the centre forward, which is now Ali Al-Hamadi. Munioff plays downfield towards Sarr. The ball comes back to Daniel Munoz, crosses from the right, and that lands on the roof of Ipswich's goal net and goes behind for the goal kick. But Mark Schwarzer, time is running out for Ipswich, and Crystal Palace here heading for a very precious 3 points.
Yes, it is. I mean, Ipswich at the moment have just not done enough when they've had possession. Again, they're playing out at the back. It's a little bit slow. The minute the ball goes wide, Palace, same thing they've been on the first 45 minutes. That's when they put the press on, and Ipswich have struggled to get out of their half.
Coming into this one, it was just 1 defeat in 5 for Crystal Palace, drawing 3 of their last 4. Heading for a win here. The only defeat was the 2-0 defeat at home to Fulham in those last 5 games. Here's Taylor for Ipswich, across to O'Shea. 6 minutes plus added time remaining at Portman Road. Harry Clark's ball down the right. That's a really good one. Finds Hutchinson in space, speeding into that Palace penalty area. Cross is cut out by Will Hughes. Mitchell happy to hit it anywhere. Sarr nearly loses control of that off balance, running back towards his own goal. Munioff plays it back to Henderson, and Henderson, taking no chances at all, swings a right boot at it and clears down towards the halfway line. Morsey under pressure from Mateta, finds Greaves. Greaves across to Davis. Davis sees Al-Hamadi in the middle. Looked like he was fouled. 25 yards out. That is going to be a free kick for Ipswich. Quickly to Walsall. Adam Cottier.
Walsall 2, Notts County 1. A penalty from the former Ipswich forward David McGoldrick after Sedwin Scott had been fouled in the penalty area. So County back in it. Walsall 2, Notts County 1.
And Salford City have a second against Harrogate in League 2. Salford 2, Harrogate 0. That was good football from Ipswich. It's won the free kick in a shooting position, Mark.
Yeah, it was very, very good football. And again, it was more direct. And I think whenever they play a bit more direct, they catch Crystal Palace out a little bit, because Crystal Palace obviously set up, knowing Ipswich want to play out at the back at times. They've been a little bit slow. They've waited for them to go wide. That's when they closed down. This time, they were more direct, quicker, and it caused them a little bit of problems. Lacroix just gives away a needless free kick, though, in a dangerous area.
Looks like they're setting up Ipswich here for a ball into the far post. It's about 25 yards from goal. I just wonder whether Davis thinks he can whip this round the wall and try and beat Henderson in his near post. Can he fool him with this? Let's see. Craig Pawson blows the whistle. Ipswich 0, Palace 1. Here is Davis. Oh, it's a low ball into the edge of the box. Chaplin turns, chips it to the far post. Greaves nods it down to the far post, and it hits the post, comes back off the post. It's Broadhead and goes behind for a goal kick. That was ingenious from Ipswich. They just couldn't apply the finishing touch.
I tell you what, they were inches away from equalising this game. It was a really good little free kick, short played, and Chaplin then turns, swivels on the ball, plays it to the far post, and it was Greaves who heads it back across the face of the goal, and you've got 2 Ipswich Town players making a run for the ball. Henderson's got no chance of getting it. It goes off the post, like he said, and straight onto, I think Broadhead. Straight onto Broadhead, yep, and it goes out for a goal kick. Almost. Very, very close for Ipswich Town.
Second equaliser for Tranmere in the game against Morecambe in League 2. Tranmere 2, Morecambe 2. Broadhead's ball down the left. Al-Hamadi's run is cleverly blocked off by Lacroix. Chris Richards plays back to Dean Henderson. 87th minute of the game. Ipswich 0, Palace 1. At the moment, Jean-Philippe Mateta's goal is settling this game in favour of Crystal Palace. He's now won a header, the French centre forward. It drops to Jack Taylor for Ipswich. Greaves is there, plays across to Leif Davis on the left. Little ball forward to Broadhead, doesn't find him. Hughes loses it, but he's fouled by Sam Morsey. Morsey, the Ipswich captain, aghast at the decision. That is a free kick for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, Palace again. Will Hughes has done really well as well today. I think his positioning in midfield has been exceptional. He's had times when you need him to be on the ball, you need him to keep possession of the ball. Look, I think it's a really soft free kick, but it is a free kick, and Will Hughes, all the experience that he's got, played it very, very well.
So we are now in the 88th minute of the game. 8 minutes of stoppage time they're heading into. Republic of Ireland, Wales. 2-1 Wales on the night, which makes it 3-2 on aggregate overall. Delith Lloyd will keep us updated on that. Second half commentary on the way of Leicester West Ham tomorrow night, 5 live at the Emirates Stadium for Arsenal, Manchester United, Newcastle against the leaders Liverpool in full on Sports Extra with Ian Dennis and Pat Nevin. It kicks off at 7:30. Can Crystal Palace close this out and get themselves a second league win of the season and a first away win of the season here at Portman Road? Gahey's clearance, volleyed forward by O'Shea, intercepted there by Lerma. Crystal Palace in control. Eddie Nketiah is waiting to come on late on in this game. Bolton have equalised now against 10-man Mansfield. Dion Charles has scored that. Bolton 1, Mansfield 1. Good control from Broadhead. Ipswich will be pleased to have him back. He's looked threatening. Here's Jack Taylor. Taylor across to Harry Clark. Minute and a half of the 90 remaining. Clark, frustratingly for the Ipswich fans, turns and comes back here to O'Shea. Wide it goes on the right-hand side. Then there's a slip there. But Ipswich managed to keep the ball. It's Chaplin who fell over, picked himself up. Now Ipswich have worked it to the left-hand side to Greaves. Greaves with his left foot, high, lofted ball, looking for Leif Davis, stretches, gets a toe on the ball. It runs to Lacroix. Lacroix clears with his right foot over the head of Sarr, up towards Mateta. He's rolled O'Shea brilliantly there. Greaves comes in to try and help his teammate out, but he can only knock the ball into the path of Devenny. Devenny running with it for Crystal Palace. 30 yards out in the inside left channel. Finds Sarr on the edge of the box. Sarr is tackled and Sarr actually fouls his man and he's going to get booked and Ipswich are going to get a free kick. But actually I think Ipswich probably wanted to keep playing because they had the ball and they were trying to launch a counter-attack.
Yeah, they did, and it was a foul though. The referee was right there on the spot. Sarr just reaches again and he accidentally steps on Greaves' foot.
Reading 2, Cambridge United 0. Ipswich 0, Palace 1. Leicester 1, West Ham 0. Second half commentary on the way. And Ismaila Sarr, having got booked, is now coming off for Crystal Palace. We're in the 90th minute of the game. And Eddie Nketiah doesn't look overjoyed to be thrown into the action here late in the game. He'll be hoping for more football during the busy Christmas period. Saturday, the champions coming to Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace against Manchester City. Muric takes the free kick short. Just 3 minutes of added time. So Palace 3 minutes away from a precious 3 points and moving themselves up the Premier League table. Mateta chasing another ball inside the Ipswich half. Dara O'Shea plays back to Muric. Republic of Ireland, Wales latest. They're in stoppage time. Delith Lloyd.
Ireland are throwing everything at Wales. There was a VAR check from a long throw. Wales had another clearance off the line. They lead 2-1. Wales 3-2 on aggregate. Very nervy in Dublin, Ali.
Playing for a place at the Euros in Switzerland next summer. Greaves ball down the left. Al Hamadi chases it for Ipswich, chests it down. Lacroix comes across, just hoiks it away into the stands for an Ipswich throw. Leif Davis takes that quickly. Just over 2 minutes to play at Portman Road. Dara O'Shea on the ball for Ipswich. Grazed the post in this second half from the Greaves header. Henderson made the good save at his near post in the first half. That's been about it from Ipswich Town. Great running from Amari Hutchinson though, into the penalty area, crosses in there. Munioff heads it away. Jack Taylor just nods it to Chaplin. Lobs a pass back to Greaves. Greaves fires one at Leif Davis. Did well to control that, the Ipswich left back. Back to Taylor it comes, just outside the Palace area. All the yellow shirts behind the ball at the moment. Amari Hutchinson could be the man to make the difference for Ipswich. Taking Mitchell on down the right, draws another tackler in, plays back to Harry Clark. Cross comes into the penalty area. Henderson out to punch it away. Morsey gets a touch on it. Will Hughes clears for Palace for now. O'Shea with another header forward for Ipswich. Drops on the edge of the box. Greaves lets that run. Al Hamadi can't get there. The offside flag is up. Palace delighted at that. It'll be their free kick, Mark Schwarzer.
Yeah, the fans are a little bit upset and don't agree with that decision because Greaves then stopped. He comes off from an offside position and he stops. The thing is, he comes from directly in the line when the ball goes, so he actually is interfering with the play. So I think the lineswoman's got it absolutely spot on.
We have close-up camera shots of gloomy faces of Ipswich Town fans this evening. Their team sitting in the bottom three, and it looks like they are heading for another defeat tonight, a 7th defeat of this Premier League season. Crawley 2-1 up away to Charlton. Reading now lead Cambridge by 3 goals to 0 in League One, and Bolton 2-1 up against 10-man Mansfield. Ipswich fans getting frustrated. Dean Henderson taking his time over the restart. We're into the last 30 seconds of the game. I think we'll go a little bit beyond that. And Oliver Glasner roaring instructions across the field to get his team to concentrate and see this out and get themselves the 3 points. Throw in for Ipswich. Leif Davis takes it. headed out by Munoz. Munoz has gone down. The referee's going to stop the game. The ball is out of play. Ipswich waiting to take a throw. Ipswich fans think it's play acting from Daniel Munoz. But Ipswich will still have time to take a throw inside the Palace half and try and work something from there. Bradford won, Barrow won. If Ipswich do end up losing the game, I don't think they can have too many complaints. I mean, you've been here a bit this season, I've been here a bit this season. They've not played as well as I've seen them.
No, they've definitely had better nights, and I think, but they've had some big chances again. Every game they seem to play, they have some big chances. They just haven't been clinical enough in front of goal.
Right at the end of added time, this man was clinical in front of goal. Mateta and Ketia's calling for it in the middle. Mateta keeping it for now for Palace. Cross comes into the penalty. That's awful. Into the arms of Muric. He's given the ball away. It doesn't matter. The Crystal Palace fans celebrate at Portman Road because in this crucial relegation battle, it's Palace who take the 3 points. They're grateful to their giant centre-forward and a fabulous pitch-length move from one end to the other that he was involved in at the start, brilliantly finished off with a clip finish to give Crystal Palace the win. Their second win of the season. They move to 12 points and Ipswich stay in the bottom 3 on 9 points, and it was that one moment of quality, Mark, that move, that finish, that separated these two teams.
Yeah, very much so. It was the one moment of extra bit of quality that we saw tonight in front of goal. I mean, both sides have had chances. Henderson made a great save in the first half where he got across to his near post area and made the big block of that near post, and it was Mateta in the second half in front of goal. First opportunity, he took it.
Grimsby 5, Accrington 2 in League 2. Before we leave Portman Road, let's check in at Bramall Lane. England's women playing Switzerland in a friendly tonight. Betty Glover.
England 1, Switzerland 0. Big chance for Switzerland though. They're piling it on this second half. Tertune given so much space, takes a shot from distance, but it's brilliantly saved by Hannah Hampton, who tipped it over. She's had a lot to do this second half. England 1, Switzerland 0.
Have Wales women made it to the Euros? Delith Lloyd.
They have indeed. There are tears of joy in Dublin from the Welsh players. Wales are into a major tournament for the first time in their history. They defended for their lives in the final 15 minutes. 2 second half goals, a Hannah Kane penalty and a cool Carrie Jones strike mean Wales will be at Switzerland at the Euros next summer. Anna Patton pulled one back for Ireland with 4 minutes remaining of the 98 minutes were added on, Ali, and Wales cleared another ball off the line. Katie McCabe, the Ireland captain, is in tears on the Ireland pitch. Wales, however, are in dreamland. They've beaten Republic of Ireland 2-1 on the night, 3-2 on aggregate.
So Wales will be in Switzerland next summer. England will be there. They're playing Switzerland in that friendly tonight. Northern Ireland beaten by Norway today, and Scotland lost 2-0 away to Finland. All the reaction in the Women's Football Weekly via the BBC Sounds app. Crystal Palace players here, Mark Schwarzer, final thoughts, just taking the applause of the travelling fans. Massive win for them. The longer this home run goes for Ipswich without winning a game, the tougher it's going to get. They're here again at the weekend. They're at home to Bournemouth.
Yeah, it's again another massive game for them. Tonight was a missed opportunity, certainly to pick up at least a point. They had some big chances, they didn't take them. Crystal Palace, on the other hand, I have to say, played, I think, with a lot more confidence. That comeback against Newcastle very late on last weekend was huge for them. And I think that showed tonight as well.
Yeah, something building for Crystal Palace. Really important win for them. Jean-Philippe Mateta with the goal in the second half, and the Ipswich players in the blue shirts trudge off defeated at Portman Road. Palace get the win. Ipswich 0, Crystal Palace 1. We will take you straight to the King Power Stadium.